Yeah, what's up, everybody?
Hello.
Unmute this, unmute that. We should be good. It is the showcase. Hi, everybody. Welcome to our Twitch channel. I'm sure it's the very first time you have ever been here. If it is your first time watching or hearing the community showcase, here's what this is. Let me know if everything looks all right. Community Showcase is our $10 tier on patreon.com/easyallies. People for the showcase can submit comments, drawings, photographs, screenshots, voiceover, music, and video. And we got a little bit of everything this month. I have gathered all of it to the best of my ability. Sometimes stuff slips through the cracks. Let me know if I have missed anything. The deadline was last night. I bumped up the deadline by an hour because it used to be midnight, but I thought people maybe got confused. Because you know how your brain does that thing where you see
Yeah,
midnight, but it's like technically midnight's the next day. So you're like, oh, it's the 5th. Oh, well, then I got all day to submit something. It's like, no, the 5th meaning midnight.
that I do 11:59 p.m. for the
Right. Yeah.
Q&A. Yeah,
So I
yeah,
did 11
yeah.
p.m., which is nice. It gives me a little extra. It gives me 1 hour of sleep. Last night was a podcast night. I always, whenever we're doing schedule stuff, I'm like, put the showcase after a podcast night. And then like on Thursday night when I'm doing it, I'm like, this was a bad idea. But podcast is posted. Showcase submissions are gathered, and we are going to go through all of them. I'm going to read off a lot of stuff for Ben in the beginning, and then we're going to be going through drawings, screenshots, photos, voiceover, music, and video. Jesse Blue did some tunes this month. We got a voiceover clip from RF Switch, but Jesse Blue is doing some singing. We'll get to that in a
Jones,
second. Yeah.
you read a lot of stuff. Does your voice ever get sore or tired?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. That was like, I actually, Ian dragged me back in the booth for our Goaties because our Goaties was like it was like a 7-8 page script. And I was like, I gotta take a break here. And Ian's like, I really want to get this done this afternoon. I'm like, all right.
Can you? It's something like the Goaties where all the allies wrote different parts. Can you tell who wrote which part?
Sometimes you could you could always tell it with countdowns. Whenever we did a top 10, it was like, and there's the Kyle entry,
Yeah.
and there's the Damiani entry. You know,
Yeah.
it definitely spicked out. Ben is louder
Oh,
than me.
it might
can
be.
probably fix that on my end.
I have weird problems with Discord when it comes to this. Let me.
I wonder if I can. Here, I can just change your volume on my end. Here.
Okay. Let me know.
Did that change things, everybody? I'm dropping Ben. Don't shout Hatake right now.
Yeah.
Wait for it. Maybe we'll get to that point. How's Ben sound now? Make some noise, Ben.
Making some noise. I'm also turning it down on my end. Does that sound
Oh,
better,
okay.
everybody?
I'll put you at 100%. All right. Let me know. I got comments up. I will adjust Ben on the fly.
Yeah.
Love
Let us know, chat.
Oh, look at that. You can see the setting. No, wait. Go away. There we go. Man, are we ready to go now? All right, so we're kicking it off. We got a bunch of comments. I'm about to do a lot of reading. Yeah, that's why I got. If there is a time for my voice to get a little taxed, it is the community showcase. Kicking it off with James Davey. Hello, Brandon and Ben. This month, I feel compelled to talk about Resident Evil.
Oh my god. Okay.
You ready?
Yes.
You prepared?
I'm hyped. This
you
is
do it?
the best way you could probably start off the community
All right.
showcase.
I'd like to know more about Ben's favorite Resident Evil games and the origins of his love for the franchise. I remember playing Resident Evil 2 as a boy and being genuinely frightened of the zombies because their gargling groans when out of view thanks to the fixed camera angles made the dread so palpable and nightmarish. Even just the footsteps, even just the shh, like that little drag. You'd open a door and go into a new room and you're like, I know one of them's in. Should I just wait for it to show up or, should I try that next camera angle? I was a tad dismayed that Resident Evil 4 disposed of the shambling hordes, but was won around by how much of a game changer it was and how it moved the franchise forward. RE6 made me question whether survival horror lost its pulse, and RE7 won me back and revived my faith in the franchise. What's your favorite RE save theme? I particularly enjoyed Resident Evil Zero's, RE4's, and RE5 results music. I find save theme is different from results music. I find that me and Ben are quite alike when it comes to video games. We're both video game writers. We both play just about any kind of game, and we can both be wordsmiths too through Ben's articulations are unmatched in both writing and voice. There's a lot of questions here. We should probably pause, but how do you prepare for reviewing games? Let's maybe start with Resident Evil. What's your origins with the franchise?
Resident Evil has been a part of my life for such a long time that I'm not even sure what the first Resident Evil game that I played was, but I remember I was very, very young. I mean, this was like elementary school, and I had a friend named Jordan, and he was really into Resident Evil, and I was like, "Oh, Resident Evil seems so cool." And his dad actually played Resident Evil as well, and that was at a time when like parents didn't play games, to my knowledge, and so just like the fact that a parent played a game with their kid that was M rated was awesome. And yeah, I have a lot of good memories with so many entries in the game. It's like Capcom was kind of a force for me. Like Mega Man, my appreciation for Mega Man and Resident Evil, I feel like kind of grew simultaneously. But it was hard because growing up, I couldn't play M-rated games. Like I had to beg my parents for like a month nonstop just to play Metal Gear Solid, and so it was like a lot of like
worth it though.
yeah, it was a lot of like playing things at friends' houses and that sort
Right.
of thing if it was M-rated. But then once I got older in like high school and stuff, I dove into all the things.
Caught up.
Yeah. And when I had like a job at the grocery store, I could go and buy games on my own then.
Yeah, RE1, I think I was like the perfect age because RE1 was, I think it was high school. Might have been like the beginning of high school, but my earliest Resident Evil memory, I just remember getting the 4 tablets that you put in to get to like the garden area, essentially the end of Act 1 of 3 of the first Resident Evil game. And I was like, well, time for the last boss.
Yeah.
Like, went into the garden area, was like, what is a whole other area? Like my whole concept for like how long that game should be was like completely out of whack. I was like, that's enough of a game for me. That was wonderful. I'm through the house. I made it.
It's funny because I never played the PS1 version of Resident Evil 2. I got the N64 version, and it
Nice,
was like
yeah.
it was like literally a heavier cartridge, and it was a really
Yeah.
fun version of that game. Yeah,
Yeah, it's like Perfect Dark 2. It's like, ooh, you can.
yeah. I always
You can
thought that
feel
was
the heft.
neat. Yeah.
How do you prepare for reviewing games?
How do I prepare for it? Um,
Do we have time to prepare for games? I think we just get right into it.
yeah, I was gonna say there's not really a lot of prep work. I guess jokingly, like the only prep work is like praying that they send it to us with enough time to like actually cover it quickly.
Yeah.
But yeah, as far as like the prep work goes, not too much really.
I
Like
imagine
once you get
your Monster Hunter Rise prep work is a lot of cold showers. I imagine at this point, a lot of naps.
yeah. Oh man. But I guess like thinking about it, if you're reviewing something, you're like, oh, I might want to like brush up on
There goes
the
Slack.
story or whatever.
Get out here, Slack. Get out here, Slack.
But yeah,
There's
Brandon,
Ian.
you're right. There's not a ton of prep work.
Ian talking in Slack. Thanks, Ian. I have a gift for Ben. The gift of words. Here are a few that you may not know
Okay,
to add to your vocabulary. Axiomatic. You know what
definitely
axiomatic
don't know
means?
that one.
Unquestionable. Fugacious. Fleeting. And finally, scurrilous.
Yeah, I know that one.
It's humorously insulting. Scurrilous.
Story of my life.
I mean, for all the words that I got to read, Ben, I think, yeah, you give me the gifts a lot where I'm just like, oh, good word. I'm gonna do that take a couple times. That was rad.
It's always really weird because at like different points of my life, people have been like, "Why did you use that word?" And it doesn't even. I don't even think about it. Like, it's not like an intentional. The vocabulary is not like a conscious decision a lot of times.
I mean, I try to be very conscious of that, which is why I always got to read your own work out loud because I'll like finish a script
yeah.
and be like, nailed it, and then I literally use the same phrase and like
Yeah,
two
yeah.
sentences back to back. Not even just the word, like the same turn of phrase, like.
Brandon, you probably know this. One of my biggest pet peeves in reviews is when I use like the same word or the same phrase in a pair. Like it will drive me nuts to the point where like, yeah, you'll have to like reread an entire paragraph.
Nobody Nobody does script review pickups like Ben.
Yeah,
No,
yeah. I get really
just say Godfather Part 3. Like, just when I
yeah,
think I'm done,
yeah.
Ben pulls me back into the booth.
I'm surprised you haven't like strangled me over it. It can get pretty gnarly.
Well, where's the COVID lockdown?
Yeah.
I'll strangle you when you get back to the studio.
All
I
right.
think parallels can also be drawn when it comes to our enjoyment and fondness for Japanese games such as the Danganronpa series.
Yeah,
I find it to be a demented laugh, honestly. Danganronpa has had so many wonderful and twisted moments. I'd like to know what some of Ben's favorite moments are in any of the games from Danganronpa
Oh God.
that maybe aren't spoilers.
Well, that's the thing, Brandon. I think all of my favorite moments would be spoilers, but um, it's funny because I feel like Danganronpa just gets collectively more insane, and so like the ending of 2 gets pretty crazy and out there, but nothing I've ever played has touched the ending of 3. Like not even the Metal Gear games got as wild as the end of V3. So that's like a moment that immediately comes to mind where like I kind of want everybody to experience it just because of how batshit insane it is.
Sarah Knight just described me as baby-faced.
Oh,
Oh, maybe I'm hanging out with babies too much.
I get that a lot too.
I would like to know what some. Oh, sorry. Myself, and Happy Gaming have recorded a podcast together where we've discussed our favorite games 2020. Second month this was named our Opt. I'm proud of you. Just like, oh, by the way, check out that podcast, giving me another chance to express how much I love Hunt Down, but also talking about why Hades is so damn good, why Wintermoor Tactics Club is so cozy. I gotta look that game up. I haven't even seen the trailer for that, and why Animal Crossing New Horizons.
Sorry,
Yeah, Hubert loves it. And why Animal Crossing New Horizons should merge with Doom Eternal. Is there any possibility of knowing which allies will be available for the Q&A each month before it goes live? No, because we don't know until like the very last minute a lot of times. That question's come up on Cup of Jones before. Sometimes people just like don't feel well. Sometimes people are working on projects. I almost bailed on not the last Q&A, but the one before that because I just was tired. I just had like a long week. So we actually that was one of the major things we talked about at meetings this week. Is like, should we have more time off? We should be a little more lenient with the other allies when it comes to somebody being like, I need a break.
Right.
So, yeah, Q&As can be tricky. Last, I want to end the showcase with something a bit more cogent than my usual ramblings. I find that when I put too much stock into what I think should happen, I feel salty or annoyed when those things don't happen, where I expect too much or allow myself to get carried away with the opinions or actions of others. We humans are usually too caught up in expectations of others and misunderstand that people have different value systems to us, that we form judgments on others because they're different. In addition, I believe that getting yourself down and what others think about you isn't worth the effort because haters in this life are an inevitability, and you need to be headstrong in order to contend and flush out those negatives so you can embrace and savor the positives. Thanks for all you do. Love and respect. Getting a little heavy at the end there. Mm-hmm. But I agree with that. I think there's one of books that Milo has. It's funny. Milo has like 3 or 4 books that like aren't kids books. They're just like okay for kids. But like he'll be like, yeah, read this one. No, that's a bunch of words. Screw that. But it's just a bunch of like life lessons, and one of them was like it's like a person talking to like a cat or a frog or something, and the frog is very wise, and they say like, what's the biggest waste of time? And like the cat answers like thinking about what other people think about you, and it's like ooh, good point.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, it's the trick about being mindful and being present. Don't think about the past. Don't worry about the future. Just think about the now. Right now, I'm on a showcase with Ben Moore, and life is pretty good. Although this is going to test us, Ben, this next part.
Okay.
This is Alexander Zarianov's ranking of the 35 games he finished in 2020. And you love Alexander Zarianov. I love Alexander Zarianov. He's very committed.
I think it was funny because of the last showcase I was on, I think he also did an evaluation of games. And I love that he very much disagrees with our opinions. But yeah, it's funny to react to. Yeah.
Yep. Some of these are brutal. Here we go. From Alexander Zarianov. Here's my ranking of all the 2020 games I finished. Remember, every statement is an opinion. And safe. We should actually have had that on a shirt.
Yeah.
35, Bug Snacks. Couldn't care less. 34, Fogs. Significantly overstays its welcome. We only did that for 2 hours. Maybe that's the correct amount of time of Fogs playing. 33, Streets of Rage 4. Slow movement makes everything annoying. This is a really good one, though. This is just a really great, a brutal 3-word review. 32, Battletoads. What was it?
Yeah, accurate, actually. I agree with that assessment.
31, Ghost of Tsushima. Disjointed game design, lifeless settlements, copy-pasted quests, cutscenes, and environments, dull story, underwhelming visuals. Only the co-op campaign is enjoyable.
Underwhelming visuals? How? All right.
Dull story. My entire family has been murdered and I want to avenge them. Skip. I love you. I love you, Alexander. Carrion quickly gets boring at 30. 29, Carto. Starts strong, evolves in a frustrating direction. Is that a I think that's a joke, actually, because isn't that what you do in Carto? Don't you evolve the game in frustrating directions, literally? 28, Iron Man VR. Flying feels good, bad visuals, terrible loading times. I 100% agree. That basically sums up my review. 27, Paradise Killer. Feels like an early prototype. 26, Astro's Playroom. Constant controller vibrations are incredibly distracting. You can turn that stuff off. When I was playing Immortals on PS5, I was like, no, stop. Like, whenever I would draw the bow, the trigger would be like, bow and arrow. I'm like, okay, stop. Like, I get it, but this is a very cartoony game. I don't need, that, like, crazy, realistic connection to the game. 25, Relicta, maybe. Decent puzzle game, needs more development. 24, Gears Tactics. Nice, but too repetitive. 23, Hades. Great art style. Lack of checkpoints. Wastes too much time. Technically, when you go back home, that's a checkpoint. There's checkpoint. Your bedroom's the checkpoint.
Okay.
You ready? You ready for 22? Maneater. Controls could be better. True. 21, Immortals Phoenix Rising. Stamina-based traversal and manual point of interest filling hinders exploration. Stamina-based traversal. I guess you could say the same about Breath of the Wild. And manual point of interest filling hinders exploration. Yeah, because you actually got to, like, go into first person and look around and tag stuff. Or just run around the world and find it. 20, XCOM Chimera Squad. Decent. 19, Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition. Interesting story, great locations, distractingly bad visuals. 18, tell me why.
Like, I don't agree, but I can see where you're coming from.
18, tell me why. Nice visuals, awkward animation, good fairy tales. Number 17, Roki. Nice, but inputting puzzle solutions takes too long. 16, 13 Sentinels, Aegis Rim. Character names are too complicated to remember, so following the fascinating story is nearly impossible.
They're just Japanese names.
It's a hot thing. Yeah,
I mean, I struggle with remembering them as well, so I get that.
I could just see Zirionov waking up in Japan and just like, who are any of you?
I can't remember your name.
Yeah, gets a new job at a Japanese company. It's just like, I'm never talking to any of you. I'm sorry. 15, Desperados 3. Good. 14, Journey to the Savage Planet. Nothing special, but fun. 13, Mortal Shell. First satisfying Souls game.
No.
I'm curious to see the history. I'm curious to see the history there. This might be his first. The others might not be technically Souls games, but we'll see. When you tell me in Neo 2 that you can get too overpowered, it's like, that's a sell.
You can.
That's like,
yeah.
You just sold me on Neo 2.
You definitely can.
Doom Eternal, good game, great engine. See, we're getting better.
That was
in the top 10. Yeah.
I was waiting for the other shoe to drop, and it didn't. Okay.
But now that we got the Ben Moore stuff out of the way, like 13 Sentinels, Aegis Rim, and Doom Eternal, now we can get to number 11, Dreams. Great, but extremely short. Extremely short. That game literally has an endless amount of content. I mean, maybe I guess the single player stuff that they created. I'm curious what your definition of extremely short is. Number 10, just cracking the top 10. Marvel's Avengers. A bit repetitive and short, but fun. Great visuals. As opposed to that shoddy Ghost of Tsushima. Marvel Avengers is where it's at. Number 9, Ori and the Will of the Wisps. Navigation and difficulty could be less frustrating, but I loved it. Good music, great visuals. Number 8, The Pedestrian. This is PS4 coming to PS5. A bit short and easy, but wonderful. Number 7, Haven, which I reviewed. Very relaxing and endearing. Great characters and music. Number 6, Watch Dogs Legion. Fun and playful. Ends too fast. As someone who reviewed it, I disagree, because like whenever you like get credits on a review, it's like, yes. So that worked out for me. Assassin's Creed Valhalla at number 5. Wonderful exploration, great side quests, beautiful vistas, perfect world scale. Combat setting, lead, and main quest are a step down from Odyssey. Interesting to hear that about the combat. Okay, I just figured they were, in my mind, they were different. I didn't really equate one as like being better than the other. Although I missed that kick. It was so much fun in Odyssey to just like, boot somebody in the ass like off of a ledge when you'd sneak up behind them. It's like stealth kills are fun, but just like, it was very fun. Number 4, The Last of Us Part 2. I wanted to kill Abby. Then I wanted to kill Ellie. Then I wasn't sure which side to take. Only masterful storytelling can change my mind thrice. Great performance capture, sound design.
Interesting summation of that. Pretty accurate, yeah.
Great performance capture, sound design, and fabric simulation. Number 3, Filament. Best puzzle game since The Witness. Excellent music. To learn more, watch my review on June's Community Showcase. I remember that. Number 2, Half-Life Alyx.
All right, you know what, Alex? We're on the same page, man.
We redeem. The best VR game, probably the most immersive game I've ever played. Masterclass in game design. Visuals are better than many non-VR games, but the story is forgettable. Number 1.
Maybe we're not on the same page.
Yeah, we did. Lost him. Alexander, we love you.
Yeah,
if you're gonna write these out, man, these are a joy to go through because it's like welcome literally to our GOTY deliberations. It's just like what?
I mean, this is the lightest of ribbing possible. Yeah. No ill will at all.
And a fun take at number 1, Cyberpunk 2077. Mind-blowingly deep lore, amazingly dense, diverse and believable world, best ever visuals, incredibly complex animations, and powerful character moments, and the soundtrack, and languages, so many other things. I wasn't playing this game, I was living in it, up to only wearing clothes that V would put on. Despite non-random bugs, Cyberpunk 2077 has set the bar for all future games. That's why I've completed 4 playthroughs. That's why it's my GOTY. It's tough sitting on my Xbox, and I'm like, I don't know. It's one of those games. It's tough to get back in once you get out. But maybe.
I feel like there were a couple of people that were like, "Hey, man, you didn't talk about the music in the review, and it's really good, and you should have." And they're right. Sometimes the review just gets so dense that it's hard fitting in everything that you wanted to. But Alexander's absolutely right about the music. It is very, very, very good, consistently.
It's one of our nominations, I guess. I thought maybe for music it was up there. We definitely talked about it during our deliberations. From David Cleland. I apologize for this, by the way. Just letting you know. I didn't want to subject you to just running right into this, but
okay. We
have a $10 tier. They submit stuff that, unless it's offensive specifically, I'm contractually obligated to read it. It's been 1 week since you looked at me, cocked your head to the side, and said, "I'm angry." 5 days since you laughed at me, saying, "Get that together. Come back and see me." 3 days since the living room, I realized it's all my fault, but couldn't tell you. Yesterday you'd forgiven me, but it'll still be 2 days until I say I'm sorry. Hold it now and watch the hoodwink as I make you stop. Think. You'll think you're looking at Aquaman. I summon the fish to the dish, although I like the Chalet Swiss. I like sushi because it's never touched a frying pan. Hot like wasabi when I bust rhymes. Big like Leanne rhymes because I'm all about value. Bert Kempfert's got the mad hits. You try to match wits. You try to hold me, but I bust through. Gotta make a break. Take a fake. I'd like a stinking aching shake. I like vanilla. It's the finest of flavors. Gotta see the show because then you'll know. The vertigo's gonna grow. This is so long.
I think this is a song that's better when you can't understand the lyrics.
Because it's so, right? Because it's so dangerous. You'll have to sign a waiver. How can I help if I think you're funny when you're mad? Trying hard not to smile, though, I feel bad. I'm the kind of guy who laughs at a funeral. Can't understand what I mean? Well, you soon will. I have a tendency to wear my mind on my sleeve. I have a history of taking off my shirt. It's been 1 week since you looked at me. Threw your arms in the air and said, "You're crazy." 5 days since you tackled me. Still got the rug burns on both my knees. It's been 3 days since the afternoon you realized it's not my fault, not a moment too soon. Yesterday, you'd forgiven me, and now I sit back and wait till you say you're sorry. Now, my main concern is this is like a genre now. That literally every month, this is like, right. Oh no, because we had something similar last month. Oh boy.
This is pretty funny.
Chickadee China. The Chinese chicken. You have a drumstick and your brain stops ticking. Watching X-Files with no lights on. When Don Flamay's on. I hope the Smoking Man's in this one. Like Harrison Ford, I'm getting frantic. Like Sting, I'm tantric. Like Snickers, guaranteed to satisfy. Like Kurosawa, I make mad films. Okay. I don't make films. But if I did, they would have a samurai. Gotta get a set of better clubs. Gotta find the kind with tiny nubs. Just so my irons aren't always flying off the backswing. Gotta get in tune with Sailor Moon, because that cartoon has got the boom anime babes. That make me think the wrong thing.
I've heard that song so many times.
There's 70% of these lyrics, I'm like, what?
Lyric of all time. That's amazing.
How can I help it if I think you're funny when you're mad? Trying hard not to smile, though. I feel bad. I'm the kind of guy who laughs at a funeral. Can't understand what I mean? Soon will. I have a tendency to wear my mind on my sleeve. I have a history of losing my shirt. It's been 1 week since you looked at Brandon K. Gann. Despite being a slow month, it at least had a ramp up of news, which individually taken are interesting and exciting. All combined actually leave me annoyed at a trend that has been, in my opinion, out of control for a while. Starting with the release months of several games from Sony's CES presentation, which they removed the third-party ones after the fact, meaning Sony now has messed up release messaging again. The three that stand out to me are Kena in March, Ratchet and Clank no longer being quote-unquote release window, and Pragmata now being in 2023. I'm happy for the short wait regarding Kena, and while I'm curious about RNC's release change, I am baffled by Pragmata. Why do we know about this game's existence? Its unveiling at Sony's PS5 reveal last June said 2022, and we're already in quarantine at this point, so if a game was that far off to begin with, now factoring in the delay, we should have heard about it for the first time in the summer of 2022 at the earliest. I'm convinced we've seen Pragmata 2 entire years too early. Yeah, I don't know. It seems kind of right to know about that one PlayStation game that we're not going to get for like a super long time. It's like whether it's Last Guardian, then that's replaced by Final Fantasy VII Remake, and then maybe like Death Stranding. Like there always needs to be that one thing that Sony's like, oh yeah, we're spending money on something that we're not releasing trailers for. We're Sony.
If you look at like the history of promoting new consoles, they always want to plant the seed in your head that like the future is here, right? And I think you do that by having like that one thing like you were talking about that is like very conceptual and far off in the distance. I think it kind of adds to the mystique of the next generation, right? To make something seem like the future.
I also think at the beginning of a gen, if you know you're making something for that console, like that console manufacturer is going to be like, you got a trailer for that?
Right.
Like, well,
yeah.
Even. It's like, we're selling these consoles. I don't know if you've noticed. You might want to be nice if you can have a trailer. Speaking of hearing things too early, Lucasfilm Games. Knowing there will be a Ubisoft massive entertainment open world Star Wars and a Todd Howard produced Machine Games developed Indiana Jones game is great and all. And believe me when I say I am happy as Coruscant when the Empire falls now that the Star Wars is no longer EA exclusive. But there is absolutely no reason to know all this when we won't see or hear about these things for years. Much like IO Interactive's 007 project, and especially the next Mass Effect, before even the next Dragon Age has come out. I mean, for crying out loud, in Mr. Howard's case, we haven't even seen what Starfield looks like, and they announced Elder Scrolls 6 to be after that. Even Square Enix's trademarks fall into this trap. Ever Crisis and First Soldier sound awesome to an FF7 shill like me, but let's be honest, these could ultimately mean nothing. And unless there's something much more concrete than what's equivalent to a press release for all that I've touched on, I refuse to get excited for what amounts to fan theories at present. Yeah, well, that's also trademarks, though. It's like, that's your own damn fault. Mm-hmm. People, I think a company is completely in the right to trademark something just because they don't want other people to get their hands on it. I get you want to build hype, but just look at what just happened to Cyberpunk. When will executives learn? The nice exception to all of this has been Resident Evil Village. The showcase was good with interesting updates, and look at that, a relatively close release date. I've said in the past, the only Resident Evil fandom I have has been formed watching the full playthroughs via Misters Huber and Damiani, and the upcoming Village is no different. I'm excited to experience it with either or both of them for the first time. Side tangent, full playthroughs of Dead Space 1 and 2 are games I would like to experience for the first time via an ally playthrough. Just throwing that out there.
I almost feel like I did that with Dead Space. I streamed Dead Space 1 not too terribly long ago.
Yeah, Dead Space 1 and 2 are tricky. Like, Dead Space 1 I think is a better horror game.
Mm.
But Dead Space 2 is like RE4 for me. It's just so playable. Like it's
Yeah.
like I New Game Plus Dead Space 2 3 times, I think. I played it and I played it again. Like it's just once you're all upgraded and you're like, I can't wait to tear through this thing. Like
Both of those games are hand in hand excellent.
yeah. But yeah, I mean, people definitely have stuff to learn from Cyberpunk, but I mean, if you think about the examples specifically you gave with Star Wars and Indie and Bond, those are all like brand acquisitions. And so, well, not acquisitions, but those are like license acquisitions. So like those are companies that they're like, we got Bond. And so like they're just so excited and they want to let their, community know. It's like, if you're not getting any more Hitman updates, this is why, because we're all just like, we gotta literally make a new James Bond. And so I think that can be an exception. If it's something like Pragmata, I blame on the consoles, but like that's when you have like a new IP that you're like, oh, like something like not Agnes Philosophy, but Project Athea, I could see that kind of dragging where we're just like, yeah, that demo was cool, but when is this going to be a game? Where if it's like, man, if I got the rights to an Indiana Jones game, I'd tweet the hell out of that. Juan Roland Jr. Hola, Benny Jones. Now, I know Ben gets a lot, and I've heard him mention it before, but I want to sincerely thank him for all the praise he's given Yakuza over the years. I never got into the series before, but I appreciated it from afar. Every time it would come up during a frame trap, the conversation would always leave me with a huge grin on my face. I was fine with just loving it from afar and leaving it at that. Between last year's Father's Day present, Yakuza Remastered Collection, PS Plus, Kiwami, and Christmas sales on PSN, 0, Kiwami 2, and 6, I decided this was the year I would get into it. I'm currently 19 hours into Yakuza 0, and I've only just finished Chapter 2. Yakuza does absolutely everything I want in a video game. An amazing and dramatic story, interesting characters, mini-games galore, side missions that I can spend all day doing. No two side missions so far are alike, and whether it's me stepping in as an emergency producer for a shoot, helping a rock band fit their persona, becoming a motorized car racing champion, or keeping my eyes open for the gargantuan Mr. Shakedown so he doesn't leave me yenless, I'm always on the lookout for more to do. It feels like there is so much thought and at times batshit craziness put into so much of this game, and it makes it so much better. Right from the very first chapter, the game pulled me in with the story. I racked my brain trying to remember why the story points weren't spoken about much before, but I can see that there's no way to do it true justice without experiencing it. Whether it's intense drama, crazy anime vibes, I can always tell that this series is going to continue to be the highlight of 2021 for me. Before writing this submission, I just hit the beginning of Chapter 3, and the way they introduce Majima is amazing. It's literally a...
Zero? Okay.
It's literally a 20-minute cutscene with about a 1 to 2 minute break in between, and I can already tell I'm going to love him just as much as Kiryu. I'll shut up now so I can get...
love him more.
I'll shut up now so I can get back to the game, but thanks again for consistently promoting the series, and I hope you both have an amazing rest of your day. Amor y respeto, Juan. Yeah, I think that's like that does work, though, with like leads, where it's like, I like this lead. He's, they are strong in the role in representing this game, but like it's so easy for like just a side character to like sneak up and like, no, I'm stealing. I'm stealing that goatee.
I mean, Majima has different roles throughout the series, but in Zero specifically, they really double down on him in a way that pays off tremendously. But yeah, I mean, I would say that like the number one question, or close to the number one question that I get, is like, which Yakuza game to start with? And it's so cool, like seeing something that it felt like almost no one was playing, to kind of it being like this almost universally beloved thing. It's been like a really heartwarming evolution throughout like the end of the PS3 era, PS4 era, now we're going into the PS5 era. And so that's fantastic. And I believe Yakuza 3, 4, and 5 Remastered just came out on PC Game Pass and Xbox Game Pass. So, like, just more people than ever have a chance to play it, which is really cool.
I got asked on Cup of Jones what game or games from our GOTY deliberation was I kind of hungry for, like, while we were talking about them, and I was like, I wish I'd play that. And my answer was Like a Dragon. I was like, oh man, I bet I would just... I bet it would just...
Yeah, I bet
you
would really like it. Yeah.
Sage Mode Q. Hey, Brandon and Ben. So last month I asked on a Cup of Jones episode what sort of comments people leave on the community showcase, because I'd been a member of the community since the beginning, but had never gotten into the community showcase, but because I never really had any special talents to promote, but was always curious about the comment section, what that entailed. So Jones cleared that up for me, telling me that most people just talk about games they've been playing, opinions about games, or even personal things that are going on in their lives. So I thought for my first community showcase post, I'd do something special and share something very personal, but very good. To start, I guess I should go back to the beginning. Almost 4.5 years ago, my father was diagnosed with stage 3 pancreatic cancer. Cancer would obviously be scary for anybody, but there was an added sense of fear because very sadly, my grandfather, my dad's dad, had passed away just 1 year before my dad was diagnosed from the exact same form of cancer. I'm very proud to say after 2 years, after 30 rounds of chemotherapy and one very successful surgery, my father is now cancer-free. And just last week,
amazing.
He got back from the hospital for his monthly checkup with a clean scan and a certificate marking his 2 years cancer-free achievement. I would like to say that over the past 5 years, there's been some very dark days in my life, but being a part of this community and supporting you guys has got me through some of those darker days. You supporting us has also got us through dark days. So just wanted to let you guys know how much you mean to me and how much you have helped me get through all of this. Was planning on telling you guys the story in person last year for the annual get-together, but unfortunately, that didn't happen. So I'll have to settle for the showcase, and hopefully next year we can all get back to normal, and I can come shake your guys' hand in person, and thank you. You can also tell us that story again. We definitely want to talk about that. My dad's dad died of melanoma, so skin cancer is always like a big thing. Whenever I get to go to a new skin doctor, and they're like, "Yeah, you don't need to worry about that." I'm like, I will. I'm sorry. My father's father passed away from that kind of cancer. I'm paying attention.
That was some plus ultra love and respect right there.
Thanks for reading this super long, kind of serious comment. And next month I'll just come with some video games I've been playing and make it a little less heavy. Love and respect as always, Quentin. This is the time. It's time for heaviness, man. People like to come in and share stuff that they are dealing with, whether it has a happy ending or not. You can just kind of be like, I don't feel great, and just leave that on the table, and we will do our best to make you feel better or figure all of that out. Megan Linhart, hello Ben and Jones. So it's that time again to talk about some anime I've watched over the past few months. So some quick updates on my weekly seasonals. January 1st, I started 3 new shows, along with the 3 I'm still watching from last season. They are Skate the Infinity, that's SK8 the Infinity, Promise Neverland Season 2, and 2.43 Sane High School Boys Volleyball Team, while still continuing Higurashi, Dragon Quest, Adventures of Dai, and Jujutsu Kaisen, with my boy Adam MacArthur. Next update, I've completed Food Wars Season 2, Natsume's Book of Friends S1, My Hero Season 1, which I've seen too, Free Season 2, and also the feature film Free, Take Your Marks. I did some new anime as well, Berserk 1997 and Natsume's Book of Friends S2. Also, I did end up getting into episode 94 of Yu Yu Hakusho, should be done very soon. Finally, for my last big update, I made it to episode 100 of Naruto. So much has happened since I last mentioned it. I gotta say I'm surprised at how much I adore this anime. Just got through some awesome arc with Orochimaru and Tsunade, and oh boy, that was a treat. Tsunade?
I wish you could hear this.
I really enjoyed seeing her come to terms with her past and taking responsibility for the Leaf Village. I also wept seeing what's happening with Rock Lee. I have no clue what's going to happen to him in future episodes. I feel so much for the poor kid. Got a great arc with Sasuke as well, seeing his brother return and having this insanely emotional battle. Even the Gaara fight was epic as fuck. I love learning about Gaara's past, and I'm actually surprised how dark Naruto can get with some of its storylines with its young cast, no less. Is it Gaara?
Sorry, it's Gaara. Yeah, didn't mean to. Yep.
Do it. Jump on me. I could feel. Hey,
just trying to save you.
Hey, Megan spelled Gaara 2 different ways here, so we're all doing the best we can.
Oh, we got everybody's firing shots.
Is it 2?
Yeah.
Is it 2 A's or 2 R's? What's the correct? Do you remember?
2 A's.
Yes. Okay, there we go. Got it right the second time. As far as where the characters rank for me now, I'd say Naruto at the moment has had the most screen time in this particular arc, and I really enjoy it. This has kind of been the first big chunk of being with Naruto mostly on his own. I really love Naruto a lot, but I think right now he is my favorite character. Seeing him train and how much he has developed, I can't help but love the kid, especially in that last battle. He showed so much of his unbreakable spirit. So good. I really like Shikamaru also. To be fair, I haven't seen him in a while, but his actions have stuck with me so hard ever since the Gaara battle when he risked himself to hold the enemy's back. He grew on me loads. Unfortunately, running out of room, so I gotta leave it here. So much I haven't mentioned, but I'll make sure to update everyone next time. I'm writing this at like 2 a.m., so I'm sorry if this is rambling. I promise next time I'll have a Naruto update for you guys. I'll have better structure. See ya, and stay safe.
No, that was super enjoyable. I haven't watched Food Wars in such a long time, and that anime is just a fun thing to throw on. Like, if you just need to have a good time, it is a good time show.
Alex AI, hi Bennett Jones. How you doing today? How you doing, man?
Great. This has been fun.
Nice. Hopefully fine. Last year, I managed to finally beat Trails in the Sky 2, Child of Light, and got through Final Fantasy XIV Heavensward, Stormblood, and even saw the first credits roll in Final Fantasy XIV Shadowbringers. What to tackle next? Do you remember those cool Star Wars, the Old Republic cinematic trailers? Well, yes, I do.
Yeah.
I sure did. I actually know the gal who, in the second one in the forest, the Jedi battle in the forest, man is friends with the gal who did she was on GT Live back in the day, and she told me that for the first time. She was like, oh yeah, that was me in that trailer. I'm like, what? America Young, shout out. I sure did, and was always curious about the story behind those twin brothers and their sister in the Eternal Empire saga. And so on January 1st, 2021, I started a new character. I'm not new to this game. So far, I finished the class stories of the Imperial Agent, Sith Warrior, Jedi Counselor, and Republic Trooper. And this
Dude,
time
this
I chose
is exactly what I want to do, so I'm jealous.
I know, and this time I chose the Smuggler. I chose the Smuggler too, and I played with a bunch of Warcraft buddies, and we were Alliance when we played Warcraft. And so when we got into Old Republic, they were like, can we please be Sith, please? And I'm like, you guys can be Sith. I totally support that. I'm going to be Smuggler because I got to be a Smuggler. And so I was like neutral. And so like in all the conversations, like it would be like, should we save these people or should we kill them? And I'm like, oh, I'm not sure. And it's just like, kill him, kill him. Like, oh, all right, fine. Like, it was fun being a Smuggler, like with a bunch of like evil Jedi. Right now, the game offers the following 3 arcs of your class story that span over 12 planets. Some are shorter than others. The original end content, first expansion, second expansion, the 2 expansions worth of Eternal Empire stuff, the current expansion Onslaught, with a bunch of optional side content throughout all of it. God, that's tempting. I gotta be honest, that's a lot of good stuff. On January 29th, I reached the start of the current expansion Onslaught. While the vanilla content was great, already the 2 following expansions were alright, so I did not know what to expect from the Eternal Empire. Luckily, BioWare did not disappoint here at all. The Eternal Empire saga is basically a single-player episodic RPG within Star Wars The Old Republic. It has loads of showpiece moments, the well-known great music and great locations that you get to visit, plus it addresses one of the biggest complaints with prior story quest lines, the boss encounters. The design was always to make it possible to finish your class story without other players' help, which resulted in the bosses being relatively weak despite what the story might let you believe. In the Eternal Empire content, not only do you get 3 difficulty options, but the fights themselves are deeper and more mechanical, making it feel right as you encounter those challenges. Overall, if you like KOTOR 1 and 2, you should give this one a chance. It's currently free to play, so you can try it out. And if you like your character's story, I do recommend spending 1 to 2 months of subscription, as it permanently unlocks all expansions and gets rid of any free-to-play limitations for the subscribed time period. That's it for now. I hope you all have a great February, and I would not dare to break my personal tradition of annoyingly reminding Ben of Shining Force 2, and that 2021 feels like the right year to try it. Well, I'll never stop to champion this game. Let me know if I should cease this, Ben.
No, it's great.
It's always good, yeah. Always safe to let us know and remind us.
Yeah, not strictly relevant, I guess, to this, but I mentioned on Twitter the other day that I was like, man, I think about playing 14 all the time, and I just don't do it, and I'm done. I'm breaking that habit. I've been diving back into 14. Want to get caught up to Shadowbringers. Like, that game is so good.
Yeah,
and I've put off like seriously returning it for far too long.
That's the first and only MMO that I ever played with a controller, and I'm like, this ain't bad.
No, I actually so I exclusively played it mouse and keyboard for a long time, but I've actually switched to controller, which I would have like poked fun at myself for doing like years ago. But
it's not like better, but it's pretty good. It's pretty fun. It's just nice to play an MMO. Like,
yeah,
you're not perched, shoulders tense.
It's so like It's so frustrating though because I definitely do want to get caught up with 14, but it's like I'm also trying to review 3
Oh,
RPGs this
forget about
month.
it. Forget about
Damn
it.
it.
I
Yeah.
restarted 14 twice.
Yeah. How
Both.
far did you get?
I got almost to 60. I got in like the low 50s with
Okay.
my first character, and then I got into like the 30s with my. I did a paladin first, and then I did a bard, but bow and arrow was when I wanted to go the second time, just like chill DPS,
Hmm.
and it's fun. The game did nothing wrong. There's nothing that the game did where I was like, I'm over this. It's just life. But it's fun. We talked about MMOs a lot actually because we were talking about Amazon. We were talking about New World, and Huber's like, he's like, I think it may have a chance. We're like, it's an MMO, dude. They don't MMOs like aren't they don't hit now, like they
New World
satisfy.
actually
Like you
got
can get
like
into an MMO, but like an MMO being like a big Apex Legends Fortnite style success, like Fall
yeah.
Guys Among Us notoriety, like I don't
I
know.
definitely see where you're coming from, and you're not wrong. But New World got like a surprising amount of buzz behind it.
Mm.
Like I'm not saying I don't necessarily know if it'll be long lasting, but there's definitely some interest.
Yeah, Damiani was talking about it, and Huber's like, I liked it. Like, Brad liked it, and Damiani just talks like right over him.
Yeah.
I did not like it. Morgan Mahala, warmest greetings, Ben and Brandon. Again, nothing concrete for a recurring theme for the community showcase. Personally, I like to spark conversation. So I have some questions for the both of you, hopefully to mull over. Love and respect, Morgan Mahala. One, Morgan doesn't take it easy. These might be a little spicy. What kind of personal topics do you like to hear from the audience, and which ones are more difficult to handle? During the community showcases, there have been some deeply personal revelations from the audience. I'm not sure if you have ever had the chance to respond to how it makes you feel. So please let us know if you enjoy them or find them uncomfortable, and where the limits are, if any. No, it's like that to me. That's somebody handing us the opportunity to let other people know that. And I always feel tremendously honored and privileged to be in that position. I cannot think of somebody mentioning that. Honestly, saying like the Ghost of Tsushima had bad visuals was more uncomfortable than somebody like saying some big truth that they're announcing about themselves, or some difficulty they've been having with life, or like I said, even something that's unresolved. Even if you're just being like, this month sucked. It's like, cool, man, let's talk about it. But yeah, I don't know if you want to weigh in on that or.
Uh, so just like what topics do we prefer? Is that the
Yeah, what personal topics do you like to hear from the audience, and which ones are more difficult to handle? I can't think of a.
the ones that I think are difficult to handle? And this is honestly like a very very minor thing, but sometimes the way people phrase questions, they're like what financial decision should I make? Like should I like
Sure.
or like what should I play? And I understand completely why they're asking it, and they're clearly putting stock in our opinion, which I appreciate. But it's just impossible. Like when I don't know you personally, like with the
Yeah.
allies, I can be like, I've been around you so much that I feel like I can make a recommendation and believe that it'll work. With people like, hey, what should I play in this series, or should I play this series? Or like there have been multiple times where people have been like, Ben, I don't like JRPGs, should I play this JRPG? And it's like, I don't know what to tell you, man. I don't know. I have
I
no
you know
idea.
it's funny that you mentioned that. I actually thought of that the other night, because I think with movies and television and video games and all that stuff, I think the tip top of my list, number one, in terms of like, I don't care who you are, doesn't matter. Watch Avatar: The Last Airbender. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. It's like, yeah, I don't really like anime. Watch it. Like, I don't like television. Watch it. Like the cartoons, not a big fan. Like, watch it. Doesn't matter. But even like something where it's like, I'm a big Star Wars fan. Would I like Clone Wars? It's like, I don't know. Like I liked it, but it's tough. Like
So
if
Clone Wars
you,
is
yeah,
really frustrating because it is absolutely like some of the best Star Wars, and I have loved it, but like it's hard to recommend to people because like if they watch the first season, they're like, oh, I wasn't really feeling it. I'm like, okay, yes, but like hold on,
yeah,
like
yeah,
it
right.
really does just keep getting better.
It
Just
does.
hang in there. Yeah, but
Um,
that's a hard recommendation because of that.
All right, here we go. This is a commencement speech for context. Number 2. So this is actually, I'm reading someone else's words here, other than Morgan Valhalla. Number 2. Now, the commencement speakers will typically also wish you good luck and extend good wishes to you. I will not do that, and I'll tell you why. From time to time in the years to come, I hope you will be treated unfairly, so that you will come to know the value of justice. I hope you will suffer betrayal, because that will teach you the importance of loyalty. Sorry to say, but I hope you'll be lonely from time to time, so you don't take friends for granted. I wish you bad luck, again, from time to time, so that you will be conscious of the role of chance in life and understand that your success is not so completely deserved that the failure of others is not completely deserved either. And when you lose, as you will, from time to time, I hope every now and then your opponent will gloat over your failure. It is a way for you to understand the importance of sportsmanship. I hope you'll be ignored so that you know the importance of listening to others, and I hope you'll have just enough pain to learn compassion. Whether I wish these things or not, they're going to happen, and whether you benefit from them or not will depend upon your ability to see the message in your misfortunes. Do you agree or disagree with the above? Ben Moore. I've heard that before. I can't remember who said it. But
do I agree or disagree with the above?
With that statement, yeah.
There's a lot to unpack there. No, I mean, I think the general sense of like learning from bad things that happen to you and trying to be empathetic, like taking your bad experiences and using that as a way to broaden your empathy for other people. Like, I think that's generally sound advice.
That is an excerpt from Supreme Court Justice John Roberts' commencement speech for his son's 9th grade graduation. Maybe not 9th grade, John. 9th grade's a little rough. I hope you're betrayed, freshman. Like, what? I haven't even taken algebra yet. Like, what? I don't know. I think those are important values to learn. If you manage to learn those things without having all that bad stuff happen to you, that's what I want. You know?
Right.
I hope you learn those things. I don't think you necessarily need to have those things happen. It's like you said, it's like this stuff's going to happen anyway. So it's like, okay, well, you don't need to wish it upon me. Like,
right.
Bad mojo, dude.
Right.
And finally, last but not least, what are your favorite dad jokes? These don't count for me, Ben, because all my jokes are dad jokes now.
Brandon, I wanted to say that I love when you do dad jokes, and I don't mean that. That is not offensive in the slightest. I don't mean any negativity toward it. It's just it's like heartwarming and amazing.
I made a joke so bad I made Blood say Brandon last night on the podcast. Brandon, not Jones. Like my parents, you know, like whenever I heard Brandon, I was like, oh no. Ben, did you hear that they gave this year's prize to the guy who invented the knock knock joke?
No. What?
The Nobel Prize.
Okay. All right. Was that you or was that Morgan?
No, that was Morgan. Apparently, we were supposed to say what prize, but you didn't.
Okay.
You didn't
what
take the bait.
Prize? Gotcha.
I appreciate that. You beat him in his own game. Small Leviathan, Evening Allies. January's come and gone, and I just want to say I hate studying from home. Admittedly, beginning the course in the middle of the holidays probably didn't help either, but it's been a real struggle, and I'm probably going to have to retake it. That's fine, though. I retook chemistry. I did very poorly the second time, too. I think I got a D and then a C. I hate chemistry. This is just a warm-up, and I'm ready to give it another go. Anyway, I got a couple of different things I want to talk about in the showcase, so let's roll. Last week, I picked up Ori and the Will of the Wisps, and since it went on a whopping 67% sale on Steam, and I finished it this Monday. This is probably an unpopular opinion, but I have to admit that I came out of the first game, Ori and the Blind Forest, feeling pretty lukewarm. It was a gorgeous game with an equally gorgeous soundtrack and had some pretty darn good platforming, but its world design was so bland for a Metroidvania that it might as well have had a level select screen instead of the combat, and the combat as well might as well not have been there. Additionally, while much has been made about the heart-rending story, there is a series of baffling narrative decisions that completely undercut all the emotionality and leave the story with basically no stakes by the end. It's all more impressive, then, that Ori and the Will of the Wisps is quite generally one of the best Metroidvanias I have ever played. Clearly borrowing a lot of ideas from the best games in the genre, Hollow Knight. It liberally steals ideas from Hollow Knight. The sequel fixes all of the original game's issues, going even further with all of its strengths, and wraps up its story in a way that feels cohesive and complete. Moon Studios shows a seriously impressive amount of growth with this game, and I can't wait to go back and finish those last couple objectives for 100% completion. So here's something I don't do very often. An anime recommendation. Well, hold on. We can get back to anime in a second. Any thoughts on that spicy Ori take?
Um, no, it's been a while since I played through Blind Forest. I walked away from it very, very impressed. So I don't necessarily agree with that, but I do think Will of the Wisp is even better. So yeah, that's cool. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
I don't watch a lot of anime as I prefer to read, but there was one new anime this season that caught my eye. Namely, So I'm a Spider, So What? I love anime titles, man.
These isekai titles.
So I'm a spider. So what? The show is about a girl who is caught in a magical explosion and reincarnated in a fantasy world. So it's an isekai, except as the title implies, she's not reborn as a human, but as a low-level spider monster. It's an adaptation of it's a Doc Brown low-level spider monster. It's an adaptation of an online novel of the same name, and I was initially a bit skeptical because I have actually been reading the manga adaptation for like 3 years now. Thankfully, the anime is actually pretty good as well, and does some things that almost make it feel like I was experiencing the story for the first time again, which was a pleasant surprise. Additionally, the original author, one Baba Okina, is a co-writer for the anime, which increases my faith in it a lot. Give it a shot if you want a fun underdog story with some surprise twists along the way. Whoops, out of words already. Love and respect. Small Leviathan.
That sounds super fun. I don't like spiders is the only thing holding me
Really?
back there. But I'm so weird with my spider phobia. It depends on what the spider looks like. So yeah.
I legitimately want to tell you the story. I'm not telling you the story to make you feel uncomfortable, Ben. This is just amusing to me. So I have a big attic now. I had an attic that was kind of like, yeah, you could store stuff up here beforehand, but I have above our garage, we got this, like I can stand in it, like a big attic. And maybe you've been watching too much Hill House, but it's like when I first like popped my head up there, I was like, oh, I want to put like a case in a corner with like spider webs and like a doll like with its head cocked to the side or something. It's like something where I could ask my brother like, can you go up in the attic and get something for me, and then have like a motion sensor that like makes it move or like plays a sound effect or something. Haven't done that, but we got a spider that is motion censored. It's big. It's your fave. It's a big furry spider, and it motion censored where it like pops up on hydraulics like once you get near it. And it's too big to put like in a box. Like we'd have to have one of our cases like just be that. So like in the corner of the attic, the spider's just like. I love it. It's great.
if that thing popped out at me, like I would never forgive you. Because that's the worst part. Like in games when they make them like drop down from the ceiling, that's when it's really bad.
Right. Rewatched Arachnophobia the other day. That's a fun one. I just hadn't seen it in a really long time. Very cheesy, much cheesier than I remember it being. But I lament not having time to invest more into Dreams, because I wanted to make a level where like you boot it up and it's just like Kamurocho and you're like, oh yeah, and you're just like walking down the street, there's all these neon signs and it's just like, oh look, arcade, and you're like, I want to go into the arcade, and just like spiders just come flying out. I'm just like, no,
it's good to know that you're planning these things, to mentally prepare myself.
Or what if you were like a spider in like a Kiryu suit, with like the collar, and the spider's just kind of walking down the street.
I think I could get behind that. Yeah. I definitely think I could.
Yakuza does a lot of stuff with animals. They have like crab attacks and like there's cats doing weird things. Has there ever been any spiders in the Yakuza series? Any like nightmare sequences or anything? Or
not that I recall. No.
Oh. Yakuza 8. There's still time.
And I feel like that's something I would remember. But yeah, no, I don't think so. Not that I've seen.
It was called Yakuza 7 in Japan, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Was it called Yakuza 7 Like a Dragon, or just Yakuza 7?
It was Yakuza 7 Like a Dragon, I believe, or something like that. I just, in my mind, it's just Yakuza 7. Like, I don't even think of the Like a Dragon subtitle.
Yeah, I wonder what 8's going to be called. I wonder if they're going to split that up. It's weird to have something, after like all these franchises stopped doing that, it's weird to have something named different in Japan these days.
Right.
Although I'm always amused when when American movies get renamed something funny when they go overseas. Cisco Ace Jackson Garcia. Hello, Jonesy Ben and fellow allies. Didn't get a chance to post last month, so I want to talk about Cyberpunk this time around. I enjoyed the game in a few ways, most specifically Johnny and the world they created. It was so fun to exist in and around Night City. The characters were especially great, and their side quest arcs were fascinating and fun to go through. But fuck me, it did not constantly take me out of this game. Glitches every few minutes, random deaths, flying vehicles, your car spawning in the floor, your penis poking out of your pants, and the first mission for fuck's sake. I don't know if you're keeping track, but there's 2 fucks and 1 penis in this comment so far. The random activities around the city were rather boring. Yeah, especially when comparing to the POIs that littered the map of Witcher 3. Even the gig jobs were mediocre at best, falling into a few stereotypes that were only interesting when they played on your morality. The worst of all was just how bad the game ran. According to my PlayStation wrap-up, I had 137 hours played before I quit. This was across 2 characters. In that time, more than 40 crashes on my PS5. It is the biggest disappointment in my recent gaming history, and that is so frustrating because it has its good points, but is just marred by far too much to be worth it. With that out of the way, I want to talk about my 2 goaties from last year. Oh, dude, look at this. Is the Ben Jones show. Ghost of Tsushima and Persona 5 Royal. Yeah! I spent over 160 hours with Tsushima across 1.5 playthroughs and plenty of multiplayer. Okay, there we go. To me, it's a perfect game. I've heard a lot of discourse relating to how it does not excel in any one area, and I would agree. This is where this game does excel beyond most anything else that came out this year. How complete the game is and how well it runs. I could not get over how good this game looked or how well it ran on my PC on my launch period PS4. The load times were mind-blowing even then, and every few minutes I would be taken back by just how beautiful the game was. Best was the feeling of the katana at every moment I was in combat. This is one of those games, it's kind of like Last of Us or like the new God of War where like there's no mistake when you find like a vista. Like it's not an accident. Like when you like walk through and there's an open forest of like red flowers, you're not just like, oh, I just happened to pop out of this forest at this angle. Like they very clearly are like, and there you go. You're like, oh, like just the visuals in that game were just like they're, you know, I just imagine like somebody was like testing that, you know, at Sucker Punch, and it was like at sunrise, and somebody came in and they're like, not beautiful enough. And like, are you kidding? It's not. It's like more beautiful. Like, all right, like this game.
I wish I would have used
cannot look beautiful.
The photo mode in Ghost. That's a regret. I'm really bad at using photo modes. Except in Animal Crossing.
I liked the photo mode whenever I would do standoffs. So I would like do the standoff, and then when that first guy would go, I'd go, and then like right after I cut through him, it was fun, like pausing that and like circling around, and the guy's like blood's flying everywhere. I love when he shakes the blood off and it just onto the ground. There's more F-bombs, don't worry. Then there's PS5. Then there's P5R. Ben, I know you have probably tortured yourself over not completing it yet. Take it from someone who has platinumed both versions and has close to 400 hours across both. It is fucking worth it.
Yeah, it's funny because I like just didn't have time last year to like go all the way through it, but like recently, like within like the last couple of days, I've been like really jonesing for some Persona 5. Like it sounds ultra appealing right now. I really want to dive back in. But also 14. So I feel like I have to make a choice. It's like either I play through P5 Royal or I work on getting caught up in 14.
Shin Megami Tensei 5 is this year, right?
Yes, it is. Shin Megami Tensei 5 is this year, and the remaster of Nocturne.
I think I might try 5 out, man.
Brandon,
Demons?
Brandon,
I like Demons. I've always been tempted by that series. The way you described it, like back at GT when you would review those, man. I'm like, yeah, that sounds cool. Like,
I don't know if any other ally will play through it, and so if you did, that would, because you did that with Dragon Quest XI, and that was awesome. It would make me so happy. I worry a little bit because SMT is a little bit harder to get into than some of the other stuff, but if you did, yeah, that'd be sick. And I
want to find the point where I stop. I want to know when and where that is. I'll narrow it down to the exact cutscene where I'm like, okay. They took my tied fave game GOAT and turned it into my hands-down favorite. The added content throughout this game is amazing in and of itself, with the numerous improvements to the base game, but where it all comes together to blow past any and all competition is in the added final arc, a 1,000 time more satisfying ending than the end of the original, with the villain of this making Yalda Bouth akin to a Shinnok level chump. Kasumi.
Nice reference there. I appreciated that. Fuck Shinnok. Thank you.
From Nick Gothic, who likes to submit drawings every now and then, but just dropping in a comment. Hello, Brandon and Ben. It brings me no pleasure to say that I'll be showing no artwork this month. Tragically, My dear mother passed away in January after a hard 8-year-long battle with cancer. Fuck cancer. I had the fortune of being with her till her last breath and spending as much of my time with her, bringing many things to closure and cementing that we both love each other. Nick, love to you and your mom. She's the kindest, gentlest, and most radiant person I have ever known, and I'm scared because I don't know if I can live up to it. I've inherited... Wait, you don't need to. I've inherited the family flat, and now I live all alone. When it comes to my own survival, I'm not terribly concerned. I know how to cook, clean, and earn money for myself. I only know how to do 2 of those. And these are all amazing life skills to which my mother lovingly taught me in her final years. Continuing my mother's habits and sticking to my daily routines really helped me compose myself and get back on the ground. Really, what I'm most afraid of is loneliness. There's a deathly silence in the home now, and I have a really lousy habit of being nervous and never reaching out to friends and asking them to socialize with me. I'm 28 years old and have never had a girlfriend or have had any romantic experiences before, and I find this really alarming because I'm not getting any younger. Thankfully, my relatives came to me in droves to support me, but this event is a massive paradigm shift for me as it reminds me that I'm independent now and I get to call the shots in the house. And from now on, this newfound independence and socializing now have to become skills I need to practice. Now I share my fate with some of my heroes. John Lennon and Paul McCartney both lost their mothers when they were very young. And though I always felt I could relate to them, I never thought it would be like this. But they did have each other, and I feel like I'm a step closer to the allies who have suffered their own great losses. I love all the EZA members and community members from the bottom of my heart, and every showing of love and respect from them made me feel validated and accepted. To all allies listening, please remind your parents and family members to do yearly ultrasound checkups, and especially remind the women in your life to do breast cancer screening, because early interception makes a world of difference. And if only I'm getting close to those prostate check age, which is always fun. If only I had my mother done her screening a couple months earlier, all of this could have been avoided. I promise everyone that I'll be all right. I believe in myself and have many good things going for me, though it'll be extremely challenging. I'm going to honor my mother by being the best person I can be and be someone she can be proud of. Love, respect, Nick Gothic. Nick, I recommend going for a walk. Get out there into the world again. You don't have to socialize. You don't have to talk to anybody, but if you're ever driving anywhere and you see something interesting, obviously, like, don't go to malls and stuff. Don't go to like Target, but if you have a park near you, if you got a pond, or if you're close to the mountains or the beach or any, it just, that can, I don't necessarily see it as something that's like combating loneliness, but part of loneliness is the routine of loneliness. And that can kind of help you just mentally shake yourself out of that. So
yeah, absolutely.
I owe a lot to Sophie for going out with me every night and just checking in on people.
Huge love and respect.
Huge love and respect. Thank you for sharing that. Next Gen Hef. Hey, Ben and Jones. So back in December, I shared the adventures of the overpowered King of Ireland, Duncan. It involved the Black Plague, my wife becoming an independent duchess. She said she was a queen. I was mistaken. She never formed the Kingdom of Wales. And my attempts to install an Irish heir of my dynasty as the King of England.
This is Crusader Kings 3.
How'd you know?
I've played a little bit of Crusader Kings 3, and I know that Hef has been playing Crusader Kings 3.
I wanted this post to detail the second part of my life until I died. Well, I lived to be 110. A lot happened. Number 1, my wife and queen died, passed her duchy to my son and primary heir. Number 2, I was happy with where my kingdom was, so I passed out most of my land to my male heirs to make them happy. 3, I installed my puppet king back on the throne of England. My heir will be king. 4, lived a peaceful life until I got involved in an English-French war. 5, the King of England died. A member of my dynasty is king. Sadly, though, he disregarded his Irish roots and became Anglo-Saxon. 6, infighting in Ireland ended with my primary heir, who had no land in Ireland and was just a third party, scarred with one leg. 7, failed to assist my grandson, the King of England, in defending his title. It was lost to some English woman who immediately died, passed it on to some other guy who also died, and passed it on to his son. 8, his son was dethroned by his vassals, who installed my grandson's younger brother as the King of England. 9, my primary heir died before me. In fact, only 3 of my 9 children lived past me, so his son became my new primary heir. More on him later. Because getting into it now would be way too confusing. 10, England has become fractured, with bits taken over by Brittany, France, and her new primary heir. Brittany is taking over England. This is my part of England. 11, also the King of England, my grandson's younger brother, converted from Catholicism to Adamite, the nudist Christian faith. 12, finally, after my death at 110, my titles were passed to High King Rodon Mac Liam, a sadistic, excommunicated murderer who is suffering from the Great Pox and hated by everyone. Who knows what is next for Ireland or England? I thought the second half of my life would be peaceful. It turned out to be even crazier than the first half of my life, with future generations of my family kind of being huge disappointments. I will either continue this world state or start over somewhere else in a future showcase post. Have a good February, guys. Love and respect. Next Gen Hef. Hef, man, I don't want to police your gaming habits, but I would, of course, enjoy that because, man, I love that every month Asbo Zapruder creates just an absolutely insane narrative around Animal Crossing that cannot even touch the actual things happening in Crusader Kings 3.
Dude, that was the thing that was most surprising to me is like my perception of Crusader Kings was like extremely deep and overwhelming. What I didn't know is that it's just hilarious. Like it is an incredibly funny game.
Yeah. Oh boy, you gotta get through a lot to get to that comedy. That's very complex. I don't know what I feel bad. There's like in another life, like I'm way into games like that, but
kind of the hilarity just kind of happens. Like it's just sort of baked into it. Like misfortune just falls upon you.
But I think if you have experience with that genre, you know when something is beyond your control, and I would just feel like I'm messing up here. You know, like what am I doing wrong?
Sure.
But Jason A. Sackle didn't buy anything new this month, but I did check out a few of the PS Plus titles that were made available. First up was Maneater. Aside from a brief trailer, I hadn't heard or seen anything about the game. I wasn't surprised much, to be honest. Maybe a kill an evening and move on type game. I was pleasantly surprised with it. It had more depth than I thought it would. The writing wasn't terrible, and it just had a nice flow to it. It was a fun little game. Next up was Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Now, I did play the first two games in the series. Isn't it terrible? We talked about Shadow of the Tomb Raider actually last night on the podcast. If you said Shadow of the Tomb Raider, I couldn't tell you which one it was. Like, I know it's not the first one, but I like, and now that I think about it, like, yeah, or the Tomb Raider Rise and then Shadow.
Man, Shadow was.
It's like, that's a bad title.
Underwhelming for me.
You know? Now, I did play the first two games in the series. The first thing that stuck out to me was I don't remember a thing about either of them, plot or character-wise. I remember the really boring dialogue reads for descriptions of items you pick up in Rise. I think it was that game at least. Seemed a bit better in this one. The game feels a bit rough. Part of it, though, because the game starts off in this beautiful Day of the Dead festival setting. You don't spend long there, though, and the rest of the game is mostly jungle. I just kept wanting to go back to that part of the game because it looked really interesting. Honestly, outside of Lara, can't tell you a name of a single character in that game. Really, really glad I didn't pay any money for this one. It had a few fun moments. There was one death animation where blood would splatter on a rock before Lara actually hit it. I then died purposely by jumping down at different angles and always the same result. One time when I spoke to an NPC, mid-conversation, another NPC walked right beside me and flailed his arms like he was talking to the same NPC. Also, if there's an NPC that you can talk to, maybe don't duplicate that character model and have him sit on a chair in the same area. Shouldn't be duplicating models that close, wearing the same clothes even. This isn't a Muso game. Speaking of, I was going to say, when are we going to talk about One Piece? When are we all? There it is! After completing Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity, I decided to check back with One Piece Pirate Warriors 4 for a bit. I hadn't checked out any of the DLC characters, and I'd gotten the digital deluxe edition when it originally came out before finding out how lazily it was slapped together. So yeah, why not check out some of the new characters? You would think being able to transform into a giant dinosaur and destroy thousands of foes would be fun, but no. The game still managed to make it boring. Anywho, back to PS Plus stuff. I am genuinely looking forward to playing Control. I did play Destruction All-Stars. After a little bit, I sat at the character select screen and realized I hate all of these character designs. So yeah, I'll get on that one. I didn't really have an out-and-out favorite. I ended up going with Boxhead Guy, who has a fun ability. You just like chuck boxes and...
Yeah, from what I've seen of the Destruction All-Stars art style, it's not my jam.
It's goofy. It fits. It's kind of Road Warrior meets like Fortnite, but it's like there was no one I was like, oh, this person.
But what if you don't want Road Warrior to meet Fortnite?
Right, what is it? What if that's bad?
What if that's bad?
Now that we're talking about flailing arms and weird character models and stuff, there's one thing that's just like, this is such an easy fix. This is so bad. Why are you doing this? Every single merchant in Assassin's Creed Valhalla, when you're just going through the menu, does this. It's like, stop! Just stand there. What are you doing? Like, there's nothing behind you. It's just wood. Like, what are you pointing at? Like, and they all do the same. Like,
I don't know. This sounds kind of amazing.
It's like such a nitpicky thing, but it's just like so odd that passed like all of this. Like that's an instance where they're working too hard. Just imagine the guy in the mocap studio. Yeah, but you're pointing, you're looking. Okay, now you want me to that thing. Well, no, not that thing. The other thing. There you go. Good job, Jim. Good job. We got it. Do we got it? We got it. Caesar Villa. Hello, Ben and Brandon. January just flew by, didn't it?
Yeah. I'm with your take, Brandon.
That would have been fun. Hopefully the following months waiting for the vaccine to find my arm will fly by just as fast. But in the meantime, wouldn't that be cool if they were all literally just flying through the air? You just like,
I got it.
Yeah. It's like the dangerous bees that we all get scared of, but like good. They're like we've infused anyway. Quarantine humor. But in the meantime, I'll stay at home, wash your hands, and don't hold or attend Super Bowl parties. I made a resolution this year of not posting my showcase submission minutes before the deadline, and of course, it's only February, and I already failed. A habit of almost 5 years is hard to break. January was a month of progress, but little credits. The only game I beat was Minesweeper Genius. Minesweeper Genius. Shout out to Alex AI for mentioning last month's showcase. I don't know how a Minesweeper and Picross crossover flew under my radar, but lucky me, when I went to the eShop to get it, it was on sale at 75% off, and even more lucky me, I had enough gold points to pay for the remaining 25%. Since the points were going to expire this March, it was a no-brainer, and the good thing that was because I had to use my full brain to get through the game. I consider it the birthday present from the EZA community and Nintendo to me. Another one that has been played a lot on the Switch is Overcooked 2. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I almost feel bad waiting for it to be released with all the DLC, and on top of that, I bought it on sale back in November. That's a game you can totally wait for, because hopefully we're getting Overcooked. That game sells pretty well. Hopefully we get a 3. I just always think about E3 when I went to an appointment and they were like, so we have this game, and we have Overcooked 2. And I was in the back like, Overcooked 2! Like, Greg Miller and Andrew Renee are like, you okay, Jones? I'm like, Overcooked!
Yeah.
Had no idea that was going to be there. It was playable. I was like, oh shit. Seriously, we've been playing almost every day and still can't manage to finish the whole thing. Oh, the game has a ton of value. At first, I thought it was too easy compared with the original Overcooked, since we could get 3 stars on many levels in the first try, but after beating the whole campaign and unlocking the 4th, I realized I would have to eat my Overcooked words, because damn, those are hard. What a fun and chaotic game. And just to finish the Switch trifecta, I've been playing Ring Fit Adventure for the past couple months, and I find it so funny that either my scale is broken or I haven't lost a single gram during that time. But hey, the game's fun and that should be enough, right? And that's it for this month. Take care and be safe, allies. Estamos in contact. Caesar.
Thanks, Caesar.
Keep in mind, a lot of that stuff, fitness doesn't always deal with weight loss. Like a lot of that's endurance stuff. A lot of that's running and like jumping jacks and flipping around and stuff like that. From what my limited experience with Ring Fit, that's more of like a core exercise. So you're actually building muscle in your tummy, which is good because your core is the core of everything. It helps you get up, sit down. It helps you, like your back not hurt. So, if you are gaining muscle mass, that'll actually potentially balance itself out. Like you might be losing fat in the places you want to get rid of fat, but you're gaining muscle, so you're weighted. But who the hell knows? It's like telling people what to buy. It's like, don't take my advice. Caesar Villa, thank you. I'm tempted to play Ring Fit, man. It's like any game that has a leveling system. Once you get to level 2 in anything, it's like, ooh, that felt good. Mm-hmm. I want level 3. What do I have to do to get level 3? It's like when we finished our first match in Destruction All-Stars and I didn't automatically get level 2. It was like, you always automatically have to get level 2. Mm-hmm. You always like whatever the minimum experience I forget for something has to get me to 2 at least.
It has to be. I'm sure this is a pet peeve of everyone, but when you see that bar and it gets like 90% of the way there, and you're just like, just make it go up.
Especially when it like slows down as it gets closer.
Yes.
Like stops.
But on the opposite end of that, sometimes you get like multiple levels and you're not expecting it, and you're like, oh, I got a level. Oh, I got another one. Yeah, it's good. Dopamine.
Master Pants. Hey, Easy Allies. Got an update for you from the Q&A. I asked for assistance in picking an RPG to play, and The Legend of Heroes Trails in the Sky ended up being selected. I'm happy to report that I'm 17 hours in, and it was very easy to get into.
Yeah, nice.
They had me at Space Magic. playing the PC version, and it was a nice surprise to see that it fully supports 21:9 widescreen. In the Q&A, I said that they were intimidating RPGs, but what I should have written is that making the choice to play one over the other was the intimidating part. The unselected games had to be sent back to the pile. So I appreciate the assistance in selecting one, and this is a good pick. In other sad news, my PC of 6 years is dying.
Oh no.
It's making the telltale sounds, grinding, tapping, even worrying of the fans, and kicking it no longer seems to fix the problem. It's had some crashes and things aren't looking good. I feel like it could go at any moment. The good news is I put in an order for a nice new $3,600 PC from Digital Storm with the 3080 and all that good stuff. Yes, they overcharge, but I feel like they do a quality job and I have no idea how to build my own, so it's cool. It may be a few weeks before it arrives though, so I hope my current PC will survive until then. Side note on Cyberpunk 2077. I agree with the score of 7.5, and I still choose it as my GOTY. Side note on 2021, Final Fantasy, Halo, Gran Turismo. That is my personal trifecta of game series. I don't know if F16 will make it out this year, but I'm really excited to see upcoming news on all three of these in the same year. All right, keep up the good work at Easy Allies. I'm off to play more Trails in the Sky.
Somebody mentioned this, and they were right to point it out, and I don't think I pointed it out in the Q&A, but the nice thing about PC version of Trails is you can just speed up the battles. Like you can just fast forward. And I wish every RPG had that. It's great.
I want to tweet this. I have a video on my phone that I recorded a while ago and then didn't tweet it. And now it's just like, man, with all the Milo pictures, like it's gone. I have to scroll back so far, even for something like, 3 or 4 weeks old. But my PC, it did it last night when we were recording the podcast. My PC does this thing. I will attempt to do it as well as I can. It goes. And nothing happens. There's no performance thing. Nothing starts glitching out on the screen, anything like that. It just likes to make that noise. And then it'll do it for like 15, 20 minutes, and then it'll stop. And if I restart my computer, it doesn't do it whenever it restarts. And there's nothing I'm doing. It's not like, when I open XSplit or when I render something in Premiere, it just will randomly start doing that.
That sounded like a trombone.
Yeah. So I want to tweet what is that? What's going on? Thank you, chat. Sounds like the carburetor. Your power supply is going to die. Did you check the exhaust and passing gas? Thank you for your advice, chat. Tegan Kambadi, gentlemen, we're talking about Street Fighter today.
Oh, hell yeah, let's do it, man.
COVID-19, man.
Sorry, it's hard for me. I was just gonna say, I just want Street Fighter 6 so bad. I really, really do. You know what, Maximilian? Because we don't know the last character in the last batch of Street Fighter 5.
Oh, there's still one more to go.
Still one more that hasn't been revealed, and he's like, okay. What if it was a King of Fighters character? And now I'm like, I've convinced myself that that's what it is. And if that doesn't happen, I'm going to be mad.
You think it's going to be a character that's never been a Street Fighter before? You don't think it might be someone that's it'll be a something? Or? It'll
be a crossover character. So because King of Fighters 15 is coming out later this year. And then he was like, what if, because in King of Fighters you have teams of 3. What if he was like, what if they have Team Guest? And what if they have Street Fighter characters? So it's kind of like a cross collaboration. I was like, I'm so in love with this idea. And it seems so possible that if it doesn't happen, I'm going to be mad.
Ben, I don't know why, but I often quote you from Slack on the podcast, just in terms of when something, because when sometimes Crusader Kings 3 got announced and it was shit, it'd be a good week to have Ben on the podcast this week. But
no, I know almost nothing about Crusader Kings.
I loved when the King of Fighters trailer dropped, and I was like, and I mentioned it also this week, and I'm like, a new King of Fighter stuff, and checks notes, Ben says they look fine as hell.
Yeah, the last
to get that word out.
The first trailer that they showed with the first character trailer that they showed with King of Fighters 15, Shune, was just a terrible trailer. I couldn't believe, and everyone felt this way, that they edited it that way. But they've been getting better, and the Iori trailer that they just showed was really good, in my opinion.
Back to Street Fighter. COVID-19 was absolutely destructive. Oh no, that's what we're here for. COVID-19 was absolutely destructive to the Capcom Pro Tour this past year, with many tournaments adjusted for online play or were outright canceled, most notably EVO. For the record, playing online is far from ideal and cancellations always suck. Heck, even Capcom Cup, the crown jewel of competitive fighting esports, was canceled. However, in lieu of the Cup, and attempting to bring the 2020 season to an exciting conclusion, Capcom will be having a season final event on February 20th and 21st. A collection of players from all over the world, who mostly won premier tournaments, will be invited to face off in epic regional prize fights. But before that, prepare for the Street Fighter V Winter Update streaming on February 11th, showcasing everything in store for Street Fighter V Season 5. During this stream, Capcom will premiere the self-proclaimed Saikyo Ryu, Strongest Style Master Dan, the first new fighter of five... Did I botch that?
No, you're good.
That's just funny on its own.
Yeah, it's just funny.
You're laughing with me, right? You're laughing with me.
I'm laughing with you.
The first new fighter of 5 new characters released this season. Secondly, a new gameplay mechanic will be revealed. In quotes, gameplay mechanic. Street Fighter V is already a mixed bag of gameplay mechanics for each individual character. Let's hope it's some sort of form of defense, something the game still needs way more of, in my opinion. We will also get info on the upcoming Season 5 balance update, yearly gameplay changes, and other relatable mechanics for all the characters in order to improve the game's overall balance, which is always exciting. Finally, Capcom will issue some sort of statement for the upcoming Capcom Pro Tour, which will start after February. COVID-19 is still a major factor for the fighting game community, and full transparency from Capcom is vital in this matter due to the worldliness and in-person nature of tournament competition. Overall, the Street Fighter V Winter Update should be an exciting stream with lots to look forward to. Also, side note, a way cool Avengers War Table is happening on February 16th, I hope so, and it will show off Hawkeye, more single-player content, and the next-gen upgrade. Finally, this past Hall of Greats was awesome, but it also reminded me of how many incredible games are missing still. I mean, I would hope so. I hope we're not like, I think you're good. I think lock it down. I think we're no more games. And I know only so many can get in at a time, but since Ben is here, please let me speak directly to him now.
Okay,
Ben,
here we go.
Lots of games need to be inducted into the Hall of Greats, including many fighting games. But before Mortal Kombat 2, or Tekken 3, or Garou Mark of the Wolves, and one of the Marvels, please, I ask you, since I believe you and above everyone else would realize it's important most of all, please, Ben, at some point, if you don't mind, and you feel up for it, and agree, sorry, please consider bringing Street Fighter 3 to Hall of Greats. It needs to be there. Look into your heart, and you will know it's true. Thank you. That's it for now. Stay good, gentlemen. Until next time, love and respect. Tegan Kambadi.
Yeah, no, Tegan, I was worried that you were going to pick something that I didn't have any attachment to, but Street Fighter 3 is incredible. And yeah, everything about it is so goddamn good. I mean, it has some of the best music in the genre ever. Mechanically, it's so great. The characters are wonderful. Like, yeah, I could do it. It's I don't know how I would convince the other allies, I guess. I'd have to think about that. I'd have to like figure out a way to pitch it to them. But yeah, Street Fighter 3 totally deserves to be there.
Street Fighter 2 is already in there, though. It's like, come on.
So Brandon, I want to use what you just said to highlight it, because Street Fighter 3 is so different from Street Fighter 2, and it absolutely belongs in it for completely different reasons, I feel like. But I feel like that's what the general ally sentiment would be. It's like, well, Street Fighter 2 is already in there. And it's just like, no, like, yes, but this is different.
I'm not saying it shouldn't be in there. I'm just talking about order. I'm just talking about the fact that, yes, Street Fighter 3 is a good game. There's also this company called Rockstar. And like they make, in my opinion, some of the best games that have ever been made. And it would be wonderful if we could just get just one of those. You know, then maybe
it is weird that we don't have any of them. You're completely right about that. Yeah. That's weird. I'm with you.
I so want to call out Huber on his Vice City nonsense. He's like, Jones, you bring Vice City, you get my vote. It's like, bullshit. I guarantee you. Something will get in the way. We'll see.
You're right. Since he brought up Street Fighter, I just want to, because this makes me so happy. So they just announced Guilty Gear Strive open beta, and the open beta will not only have 13 characters, which is crazy, but it will have a training mode. That never happens. And it makes me so goddamn happy that they're putting a training mode in the beta. Just wanted to throw that out there.
Pre-rendered powers. Thank you for the resub. All right. Time for drawings. From Sarah Imshog. Hey, Ben and Jones. I hope all is well with you guys. The progress of my webcomic is still going. That I finished episode 5, started storyboarding episode 6, began a new character design, and I'm continuing to redraw episode 3 in the meantime. And after getting a mini depression from the last portfolio day on Twitter, I decided to take up a new hobby. It started as just a random thing where a YouTube recommendation popped up for me, and I've been not only curious, but also thinking, this looks like fun. So after doing a bit of research, I went and bought an app called Forger and started doing 3D sculpting. For my first sculpt, I decided to make a bust of my main character in my webcomic. Just for clarification, no, I'm not doing the webcomic in this format because of how meticulous and very high attention to detail this whole process is, that it would take forever to do the whole comic this way. So here's a set of screenshots in my progress in creating Sophie's bust. And when I was originally grabbing the comments, my eyes just immediately went to Sophie's bust. And I was like, oh, you didn't! And I'm like, oh, right, so your character Sophie from your comic. I had a lot of fun making this, and it helped motivating me to continue my webcomic. So here's a preview of something that I've been chipping away at. So yeah, we can see it's coming along. Whoop. Get the eyes in there. And I like that it's not only just, a 3D render, it's a 3D render of your specific style, which I am now very familiar with after so many showcases and Twitter posts over the years. Love the bubbly hair.
I like the hair.
And then if you're thinking, this is great. These are details, but it's just freezing on it. I would really love, can we enhance some way? And boom. Oh, yes.
Enhance.
No. We can improve her. We have the technology. Love it. And, sorry.
On the top lip, is that black lipstick? Always down with black lipstick.
Yeah, just on the top.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that.
Fun style. It might be a shadow.
Okay.
But we'll see. Sarah Knight's in chat. We'll find out. And since I'm a huge Avatar nerd, I couldn't resist making one of my favorite airbenders. Yeah. Such a cheerful little guy. Hope everyone's staying safe out there. Wear a mask, wash your hands, find a way to get vaccinated as soon as it's available to you. Black Lives Matter. Much love and respect. Sarah Knight. P.S. A little thing that happened. I was having dinner with my dad when you guys were streaming your Goaty deliberations, and he said, I can see why you watch these guys. They have a lot of fun, and they let everyone talk. Then I told him, they also have a really good community. Love and respect, everyone.
Wow.
Feels good.
That's awesome.
I can see why you talk to these guys. And then he listened to the showcase, and everything changed. Hi, Ben and Brandon. I have never played Okami, so I put it as my priority for 2021. Really liked it, even if I disliked Isun, your companion, 80% of the time. Can't believe it took me this long to get around to play it. So the next one on this list is another Kamiya game I've never played, Wonderful 101. That is tempting. Every time I see that pop up, I'm like, I kind of want to. I should probably play Pikmin 3 before I play Wonderful 101. Here's some stuff I did. This is the second version with different phases I did since I really wasn't happy with the first one, which is on my Twitter account. Simple work using my watercolor pencils. Early work for next month where the game, when the game turns 30, PS 2020 wrap up. Oh, right. We'll get to the PS 2020 wrap up, which we also just talked about on the showcase. But I love this because we can do stages.
Oh, yeah.
We're adding stuff in and then adding a little bit of color. Get some more depth in there. Yeah. Once again.
I love it.
Through the...
I should try to draw things.
You should try being the operative term because I can't.
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah. No, try is definitely the operative word for sure.
I cannot. That's always been something that makes me sad. And I love this too. Before and after.
Yeah.
Background. Whee. Making those purples pop. Yeah. Speaking of. Early work for next month when the game turns 30. Was the Street Fighter turning 30?
Yes.
Nice.
Or no, did the Street Fighter 30th anniversary already happen?
I don't know. This is
I don't know. I'm not sure either.
PS 2020 wrap up. 132 days played.
I love this.
1,258 hours total. Over 1,000 hours. It's so funny. Your preferred time to play Sunday afternoon. Same for Huber. Same for me. Same for Damiani. I think Sunday afternoon is just the It's the time to play. Top 3 most played: Persona 5 Royal, Monster Hunter World, and Yakuza Like a Dragon. Nice.
Brendan, mine was like Thursday afternoon, and I was like, "What?
Okay, sure.
Okay, I guess."
Ben, have you played either Persona 5 Royal, Monster Hunter World, or Yakuza Like a Dragon?
Brendan, this is actually just my.
I was gonna say, what is
This
it?
is my pseudonym.
You're in France?
Yeah.
Or where's
Yeah.
that?
I wish.
That's not French. And then just 394 trophies earned. Wow. Do you know your top hours? Did you check this?
I did. I posted it on Twitter. Monster Hunter World was my number 1.
Nice.
I think Neo 2 was my number 2. I don't remember my number 3.
Do you remember your Monster Hunter World time?
For 2020, my Monster Hunter World time was 179 hours.
I have played more Marvel's Avengers than you have played Monster Hunter World. Oh my god.
Well, in 2020, my total Monster Hunter World time was like 450
260 hours. Something.
Oh wow.
So yeah, I played.
Brandon, there's not 260 hours of content in the game.
There's not. Yeah, I pushed the limit, and I still didn't level up. Hulk and Miss Marvel.
Oh, Mortal Kombat 11 was my number 3.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And these can't go wrong with any of these. These are some good games. Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude.
Superliminal.
I'm so happy
that is one that
so many people are playing 13 Sentinels and responding to it the way that I did. Like, that makes me very happy. Sakura is such a cool game that I wish I played more of. I might go back to that one. It's neat.
RF Switch, to be specific, the hours total from video game journalists is Brandon Jones for Marvel's Avengers, then Kyle Bossman, and then Greg Miller is above Kyle. That's the official ranking.
What?
She said you played Marvels more than anyone on the planet. I'm like, nope, because Greg Miller got the platinum. So,
oh wow,
you
can't get the platinum with what 260 hours? That surprises me.
Yeah, I was spending that time trying to like level up specific characters where you really need to just pick one character and do one thing over and over again, and that just wasn't. You have to go for the platinum, and I just wasn't. I'm okay with trophies in general. Speaking of Like a Dragon, there's a dragon for you.
Yeah, that's the green.
Samuel Yin. Hi, Ben and Brandon. For my first community showcase, welcome, Samuel. I'd like to show some art I did this month. Lagiacrus is the flagship of my... Lagiacrus, I got it? Nice. Is the flagship of my first Monster Hunter game, Monster Hunter Tri. So I hope he returns in Rise after being cut from World. Give me that turf war versus Anjanath?
Anjanath, yes.
Xenoblade Chronicles DE is one of my favorite games last year, and Malia is one of the best characters in the game. Here's hoping we hear something about Xenoblade Chronicles 3 this year. Xenoblade Chronicles crossover in Rise, please, Capcom.
I always say Lagiacrus, and it's Lagiacrus. Yeah, the guy. Yeah, I always mispronounce it, but not in World. Very cool monster. Would be neat if it came back in Rise.
Feraligator.
Hey, and some Milia art as well.
Yeah.
Best character in Xenoblade.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You respond as well?
Yeah.
To that? Oh, you said one of the best characters, but...
Nope, the best.
Ben, I'll take that even further.
Yep.
Hey, Ben, I know we've talked about a lot of things, Street Fighter, Monster Hunter, Persona. Things are kind of out of your wheelhouse.
Yeah.
Are you a fan of Final Fantasy IX at all?
It's my favorite one. Oh my god.
Remember what were we doing where somebody said they hate it?
Yeah, Q&A.
Talk about games you hate. Like, for example, I hate Final Fantasy IX. I was like, you hate? How do you hate Final Fantasy IX? I understand being indifferent to it. I understand, like, you're like, it's not my style. It's just, right? Or honestly, just anything before PS2, I can't. I just can't go back. It's like, yeah, I get it. But, like, the hate. How do you hate these beautiful people?
When anybody is like, hey, I played Final Fantasy IX and I've never played it or whatever, and they end up liking it, that makes me really happy. That the PS1-ness didn't deter them. But yeah, dude, best cast. I want these figures really, really bad.
These are
proudly display them.
I can't tell. I mean, if I could pick one, I'd probably have Vivi out of all of these. It'd be fun to have. Vivi belongs to me right there.
Vivi is excellent. Beatrix, man. Beatrix always
pretty good.
I've
Good
always
style.
loved Beatrix.
Great arc.
Yes.
Zappin' dude. Howdy, allies. Just wanted to share my growing collection of Final Fantasy IX figures. Never feel bad doing this. You can do this again next month. I currently have Steiner, Vivi, Amaranth, Kuja, Freya, and Beatrix. A few more hopefully by next time Ben is back on the showcase. Also, this Snom plush I got for Christmas from shout out to Yoko Taro to fill up my 9th photo slot. Thanks for your time. Love and respect.
Thank you for sharing this. Great photo.
Oh, dude, I got 8 of these.
Oh.
What are you, XSplit? Don't be tripping on me, XSplit. There we go. XSplit, why are you tripping? I'm not dropping frames. Why are you tripping? Look at these, man. Look at this photo shoot.
Yeah.
For like Vogue. The Fantasy 9.
Yeah.
Vogue photo shoot.
The depth of field is really neat.
Mm.
Also, yeah, somebody, RF in chat saying Freya, best girl. Freya is incredible.
Yeah.
Amaranth is such a cool design, but he's definitely my least favorite character.
Sure.
Yeah.
He's got some heavy competition.
Yo, is that Kuja? Fuck yeah, Kuja.
And finally, Snom. Holiday Snom. Aw. That's a merry little Snom. I understood that reference. From KB Holmes. Hi, Ben and Jones. I've been a Patreon supporter since 2017 and at the Showcase tier since 2018, but this is my very first post, and I'm extremely excited. Also in chat, KB Holmes. KB Holmes just said I first played Final Fantasy IX for the first time in 2019. It quickly shot up among my favorite games of all time. I would love to.
See, this is what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And A Hench, thank you for 22 months. We'll get to you, Hench. But here we go. Boom.
Nice.
My wife and I started to learn how to crochet a little over a year ago, and I've been doing tiny projects here and there. A few months ago, we decided to try our hands at amigurumi, which means crocheted or knitted stuffed toy. So we purchased some patterns on Etsy of 2 of our favorite little creatures in video games and got to work. At long last, they're complete. I present Chocobo and Moogle. Also pictured these 2 buddies being terrorized by Orange, the big cat, and taking the refuge with their pal Wing Gundam Zero. Love and respect, Kupo.
I feel like this community showcase is so perfectly tailored to me.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I love a friend of mine got into this and gave me a bunch of fun ornaments. And one of my favorites is, I won't say which character, but a infamously decapitated character from Game of Thrones. It's just his head. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh, thanks. Cool. And I hang it on my tree every year. I love it. Just like, I'm going to eat that. I'm going to eat it.
Oh, Brandon. All right. Can I tell a quick cat story?
I've got some Easy Allies on TV in the background there. That's nice.
Ooh, what is that? What
nice.
video is that?
Yeah,
It's like a stream? It's like a stream.
Yeah. Okay.
Very quick cat story. So my wife and I were building a Lego together, and it was the very first Lego that she had ever built. And it was a bigger one, and we got almost done. And now the cats have completely destroyed it. We have to start halfway over.
Right.
It's heartbreaking.
What's interesting, Ben, is the baby toy cat toy crossover. we're like, Milo would be like, "What's this thing? Oh, it makes squeaks." And I'm like, "Yeah, well, that's technical. I mean, hey, if you like it." And he's like, "Yeah, I do. This is great." I'm like, "Yeah, go for it, buddy.
Go for it.
Knock yourself out." Look at these 2 guys. Now that is an RPG party. Yeah. that is a summon right there.
Man, I haven't seen it in a very long time, but Endless Waltz is so goddamn cool.
I love the ruffle around the Moogle's neck. And Moogles are fun to make because there's no wrong Moogle, Mm-hmm. They change a lot. Look at that guy. Dying to know what that stream is in the background. And the cat ear, for good measure. Just sneaking in there at the top.
What is this?
Love it. Look at that cute little guy. Aw. Good job.
Yeah, very good job.
Just picking up that hobby. That's a big thing. Again, the ornaments I got from my friend are like, they're all very small. That is substantial. And I'm pretty sure I downloaded these, but for some dumb reason I didn't put them in. I always make some kind of goof. Nathan Codaroli made a Cyberpunk 2077 logo out of perler beads. What the hell did I do with it? Did I just leave it in downloads? Like a sucker? I did. I'm just going to throw it. No, wait, hold on. Hold on now. I'm going to put them where they belong. Talk amongst yourselves. Woo. Mouse going by. Woo. Okay. Photographs is what they're called. Bow.
Look at this photograph. Every time I do,
coming together. That is some patience. I love the artful work of adding the clear ones to fill in the 2077 underneath the logo. But yeah, that definitely came together. Looking good. Mm-hmm. And then almost there.
This is making me realize I could definitely have more cool stuff around my apartment.
You can't being outclassed by the community?
Yeah, definitely. Oh, absolutely being outclassed.
And then finally, the finished product. Yeah.
Nice.
The Jackie, just chilling. The Jackie wallpaper.
That's pretty sick.
Very slick. Nice. Thank you, sir. Nice looking PC, too. All right. And finally, before we get into music and VO and video, looks like some screenshots from Dougie B. G'day, allies. Last year I was playing Ghost of Tsushima, and my roommate noticed that every time he saw me play it, I was in photo mode. He suggested that I should create an Instagram account called Doug Shots and post them there. Well, I did just that. The VP community is full of great people, and I'm really loving sharing my love for games there. Here are a couple of my own favorites. So that's Doug's Shots, DOUGS, no apostrophe, just Doug's _shots.
I really appreciate the care with which you pronounce Tsushima.
I got Daniel Bloodrose, let me have it, man.
Yeah.
If I don't get in there and do it right. And I didn't put...
It's a very I did. As an American, the space that you have to put, it's very hard to do. I struggle with it.
Well, it's one of my that's not the worst T. My favorite T that nobody does, the invisible T, the T that does not exist in video games, is Resident Evil.
Yeah, I definitely leave that off for sure.
It's Resident Evil. There's no T in there. What are you talking about? There's only one T, right? Resident Evil.
Yeah, I definitely say Resident Evil. Yeah.
Did I skip Sam O'Rosman? I don't think I did. Let me check. Gah. Did you leave stuff or just a comment? Oh, okay. Yeah, I totally skipped him. Thank you. Thank you for the update. Oh, yeah, we got some. Oh, yeah, we can't. Yeah, okay. Oh, yeah. Hold on a second now. We can't do screenshots yet. RF switch on it.
Tsushima.
Tsushima.
I miss taking Japanese courses. Very much. I do.
I would love to just know that language. That would be fun.
I know. Needs desperately.
I enjoy not necessarily how-to Japanese videos, but I enjoy people just kind of talking about the struggles of learning the language. There's some fun YouTube channels and TikTok channels.
Kanji, man.
Yeah. All right. Let's bring Samo in. Aloha, bro. Wait. Oh, okay. So there's 2 posts? Okay, I'll just read the whole thing. Aloha, Brandon and Ben. I hope 2021 is treating you well so far. I'm still extremely excited from the Lucasfilm Games announcement from about 3 weeks ago. LucasArts and Sierra used to be my favorite publishing companies growing up, with the 90s being an amazing highlight of back-to-back hits. Monkey Island series, Fate of Atlantis, Special Edition Remaster, please? Oh, that'd be fun. Day of the Tentacle, Sam & Max, Full Throttle, The Dig. I have
Full
no
Throttle,
contact.
shout out.
Yeah, No context on the dig. I never checked it out. Grim Fandango, Super Star Wars SNES games, the Dark Forces Jedi Knight series, the X-Wing TIE Fighter series, Rebel Assault 1 and 2, Shadows of the Empire, and Rogue Squadron. Racer and Phantom Menace were pretty good too. I mean, it's just, you're preaching the choir here, man. This is just like, yes, 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 yes. To have all of that in one decade is just incredible. The decade after would, of course, add KOTOR, Original Battlefront, and the Force Unleashed series, along with Rogue Squadron sequels, Republic Commando, and the crazy Armed and Dangerous. Recently, we've had...
Sorry.
It's good. Recently, we've had a small resurgence after all the tragic cancellations of the last decade. Rest in peace, 1313. Fallen Order, Battlefront 2, after the initial problems, and Squadrons have all been really great. And Old Republic has always been extremely fun. I played all 8 class storylines to completion, not to outdo our previous Old Republic comment. Imperial Agent, Bounty Hunter, Jawa Companion, and Trooper, especially the female one voiced by Jennifer Hale, are an absolute highlight. And supposedly, the Jedi Knight class storyline has the main story thread of what would have been KOTOR 3. I didn't know that. So I am really hopeful for the return of Lucasfilm games. Both announcements sound really promising, with the Bethesda Indiana Jones game being only a tad worrisome after the lackluster gameplay of the last 3 games, especially Staff of Kings. The stories, for the most part, were pretty good, though. Plus, they've had some more things to announce this year from what I've read. I'd probably look out for the Disney shareholder meeting on March 9th for some of the first news regarding this, along with Marvel, Disney, Indiana Jones, and other Star Wars media info. Lastly, I would like to quickly share 2 things, a couple of LEGO Star Wars battle packs I built for last month from Solo and The Mandalorian, respectively, and something I found in my room that I forgot about that I think Ben would love. Originally, it was a gift for a friend over a year ago, but he bought it already. Then I was going to return it, then I forgot, and then I just found it. No real issue, since I thought I always kind of wanted it. As always, mahalo nui loa for everything you do. Love and respect, Samo Rosman. And
wonderful post.
Oh, yeah. And got all your stuff right here. Once I get into having my mouse go around the screen, getting into photographs. Do. Oh yeah,
nice.
When season 3. Let's get into it. So good.
Yes. I've rewatched the ending of season 2 multiple times.
Nice. Yeah, I have. Just one and done. But I might go back. I might rewatch all of season 2 again before season 3.
Great, a single X-wing.
That's fun. And here we go. What if you just found this?
Oh shit!
We're just like, oh,
is
yeah.
Is this like a thing? I didn't know this was a thing.
I think we got this because I believe we have.
We got
right?
this.
Don't we have?
Oh yeah. Okay, that I remember. Yes, yeah. That I remember. I don't remember the box though. Huh.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe I think what happened is like somebody else opened it. I must have just been focusing on the insides.
Right. But yeah, this
cool though.
Little guy's sitting on our shelf in the studio.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Okay, now we're getting into screenshots. Thank you for keeping me legit. So Doug Shots is dropping screenshots now, dealing with his photo mode addiction.
Nice.
Kicking it off, of course, with Ghost of Tsushima.
Oh, holy shit, that's a great photo.
Yeah. Very well balanced.
Yeah.
Really good. Love the framing. Now, I have a question for chat.
That's awesome. Good.
I am done with Tsushima. I have finished the story. I went everywhere on that island. I don't think I did absolutely everything, but I thought I discovered all the zones. I only got 1 song. When I go to the song screen in the menu, it's you can learn 5 songs, and I never learned any other songs. And I saw a thing that's oh, there's the birds you need to collect, and I found it was crickets. I got 14 out of 20. How do you get the other 3 songs? I clearly there are 20 crickets and that's it. But it's well, how do you get the other song? When I get 20 crickets, do I unlock 4 songs, or how does that work? So that was weird. There's an outfit that can give you a guiding wind to the rest. Oh, okay. You get a song every 5? You do not. I got 14 crickets. I have 1 song. I don't know if there's a person I need to go to unlock the other songs that I didn't talk to, or.
I love that sharp chat rejection.
I was sad.
You do know.
I was I was sad. I wanted more songs, but these screenshots are beautiful. Gosh darn that game. 14 crickets, 1 song. Yes. My God.
Yeah,
And the
these are
little,
fantastic.
and the little candle in the corner, like, really, really good. And did you just like kill a guy? Is that just like some guy, like some body sprawled out? It just you can't, But the thing is,
Remember,
you don't have to hunt for these. These are everywhere. It's like you. But I
remember,
love the one
Brandon.
leaf spinning. That's really good.
Remember, underwhelming visuals.
Yeah. Try again, Sucker Punch. Try again. There's a game.
Oh, damn, yeah.
There's a screenshot from the video game that you can play on a PlayStation console.
Cat is so awesome.
I like these square ones because we got some more PS exclusives coming up. I like the square. There's a nice vibe with the square. I like zooming in. Looking really good. Such fun vibes. Like the jeans. Yes.
Oh,
The
good
reflection.
choice for costume as well. Spider-Verse.
Yeah. Looking good. I love it.
How you get that outfit is wonderful.
I just love the guy's accent. Spider-Man! He got me so happy. Spider-Man! Those are terrific. Asbo's a pruder, bringing some more Animal Crossing in my life. It's like, man, I played on New Year's. I don't think I played. I skipped my birthday, Ben. I skipped it. And people were like, I didn't go to Animal Crossing on my birthday. Okay. I missed. And people were like, you can go roll back the clock. And it's like, no, that's just not right. I got something in my mailbox, but I was like, I was so excited for like months. I was like, everyone was like, my birthday. And I'm like, from when it launched, it's always like a full year that I got to wait for my birthday. And then just like,
feels bad, man.
Was busy playing other games.
It was funny. What
we got. Asbo's a pruder's here to save us.
Last night, because like my wife and I wanted to play a game together, but we were like too tired to do either Resident Evil 7 or Medium. Mm-hmm. And we just ended up playing Animal Crossing for a couple of hours, and it was wonderful. Sometimes you just like need something that demands nothing, and it's great.
Mm-hmm. All right. Buckle up. Good afternoon, gentlemen. I hope you're doing well. Things have been pretty quiet on the island of Poppleton, but there's always at least one thing that captures everyone's attention. Everyone's. It all started when the poster for the annual Snowball appeared on the bulletin board. The whole island became abuzz with talk of what everyone was going to wear and who was going to go with whom. Of course, no one was more excited than our self-proclaimed resident matchmaker Patty. While at the gym, she noticed Merengue talking to Elmer and decided they would be perfect for each other. However, the next day I was visited by Merengue. She told me she had a crush on Frobert, but I had to pinky swear that I wouldn't tell anyone. She asked me to deliver a note addressed to my dearest and signed Your Secret Admirer. In it, she asked him to meet her at the diner the next day at noon. Merengue had barely left my yard when I received another visitor, Patty. She immediately saw Merengue's note and assumed I was helping her with the matchmaking. Before I could say anything, she left to deliver it to Elmer. Oh no. Dun dun dun. The next day, I decided to go to the diner to avert any crisis if I could. To my surprise, when Elmer arrived, he sat down across from me and said he got my note. I asked him why he thought it was from me. He said it couldn't have been from Merengue because everyone knows she was sweet on Frobert. Not wanting to hurt his feelings, I agreed to go to the Snowball with him. Of course, the first person I saw when we arrived was Patty. She said she hadn't realized that I wanted to go out with Elmer and that I should have said something to her. It was shaping up to be a long night, so I didn't bother trying to correct her. As the evening was coming to a close, Elmer asked me to sit down. He said that he had a lot of fun, but he just wanted to be friends. He went on to explain that he was waiting until it was late to tell me so that it was dark enough to hide my tears.
Holy cow.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We got 2 more screenshots to go. And with that, I decided it was time for me to go home. But even in my annoyance, I was pleased to find that Merengue and Frobert had managed to work things out for themselves. Aww. A week later, Merengue stopped by again. I asked her how Frobert was, and she said that they had broken up. She just couldn't compete with his obsession with sports. In fact, the reason for her visit was to ask me for help with her new crush, Elmer. So that was January on Poppleton. I'm sure February will be much calmer. Until then, Asbo Zapruder, a.k.a. Screaming Argonaut in chat.
Wonderful.
Dun, dun, dun. I don't know about them dating. I don't know. Is that taking the whole anthropomorphic fantasy of Animal Crossing a little too far?
No, it's fine.
Humans and frogs? We'll see. I don't know.
Uh,
I guess if a frog can love a pig, anything's possible.
Just absolutely choice decoration on your island, must say.
Lots of work done. Not easy to put those together. And I love them so much. I don't have any expectations. Talk about expectations and setting stuff up too much. I don't have any expectations going into who's going to submit what on what showcase. But whenever I see those 9 image links from Asbo, I'm like, it's on. Austin Kruckmeyer, hello allies. I've returned to showcase Geo-Parody again, my Unity-based Jeopardy player. I haven't had a major update since the last showcase, but one can consider question writing and art. So this time, I want to showcase some questions from the second episode I created and included in the download. I have 9 screenshots from the episode to show off, each labeled with the clues category and value, and you can play along at home. Remember, answers should be in the form of a question. So Ben, you got to play this. I know the answers because I got to put this showcase together, so I would have loved if we had played these together. Some of these I definitely do not know the answers to. But,
oh, God.
It's time to play Jeopardy, baby. Recent internet for 400. The most popular version of the Me and the Boys meme included grinning supervillains, Rhino, and Electro, to name a few, all who are of this superhero's rogue gallery.
Spider-Man. Or who is Spider-Man?
There it is. $400 for Ben. Fictional companies for 400. This intergalactic delivery company was created by Professor Farnsworth in order to fund his research.
I feel like I should know this.
Ah.
Is it Futurama? No?
That's the show. We need
right.
The fictional company.
I don't know the name of the company. I'm sorry.
What is Planet Express?
Okay.
Fire indeed hot. It's my favorite Futurama quotes. Featured in Fortnite for 600. Glide down onto the battlefield with a Star Wars themed glider styled after this Rebel and Resistance bomber.
What is the Y-Wing?
Correct. Seattle for 800. If you see a neon-rimmed pink elephant sign in Seattle or an infamous Second Sun, then it means this type of business is nearby.
I didn't play Infamous Second Son. So I don't.
I wonder if it's in
have
Last of
been
Us
to
Part
Seattle
2.
barely, but I don't know. I don't know the answer.
What is a car wash?
Oh, okay.
Fictional companies for 1,000. As Technology and Sader Krupp Heavy Industries are 2 of the 10 AAA tier mega corporations in this magical cyberpunk universe. It's a tough one. It's for 1,000, so yeah, it should be.
What is Deus Ex?
Incorrect. What is Shadowrun?
Oh, okay.
Shadowrun. 2012 for 1,600. Psycho Pass depicts a future Japan whose law enforcement is run by this computerized system that determines if a citizen is dangerous to society based on readings of their mental state. What is the computerized system?
Yeah, I saw the first episode of Psycho Pass years ago.
You also misspelled Psycho Pass, and it's run, not ran. But I'm just.
I don't know. I don't know the name. I don't remember the name of the computerized system.
What is the Sybil system?
Okay.
FGC lingo for 1,600.
Okay. All right. Hopefully.
Watch the distance between your character's feet to your opponents when trying to improve this fighting game fundamental.
What is footsies?
Correct. We should play this at Easy X. That'd be fun. Mech pilots with 3-letter names for 1,600. In Full Metal Panic, she is one of the 3 members of Mithril, originally assigned to protect Kaname Chidori, and is a heavy drinker and smoker.
I've not seen Full Metal Panic, so I don't know.
Who is Melissa Mao? The Final Fantasy for 2000. In a Final Fantasy XIV Stormblood raid against Stormblood, not Stormblood, return to this place, which has also appeared in Vagrant Story, Final Fantasy XII, and the Final Fantasy Tactics series.
What is Ivalice?
Correct. Thank you for playing. You can play the rest of the episode with friends or make your own episode by joining GeoParody at, and he provided the link, which I can probably go find right now. I don't know why I didn't have that. Sorry.
I feel like I did okay there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where'd you go, Austin? Why aren't you showing up there? Austin? What? Strange, you're not showing up for some reason on the post right now. Maybe I haven't scrolled down to where you're. Want to find that link and give it to everybody, but I gotta find Austin's post first. Patreon likes to delete posts, so maybe I got it before it was deleted. Boy, that would be unfortunate. That was super fun, though. I might have enjoyed that more than you, just being like, correct. Like,
yes.
$400.
Right.
That's a lot of fun.
Hey, if that was real money.
Oh, yeah. Man. Yeah. Patreon did what Patreon does. I think I might have bumped it. Glad I grabbed it. Cool. Let's do some voiceover. From RF Switch. Greetings, Jones and Ben. Unfortunately, this short story will be my last for a little while, as your girl needs a break to, quote, refresh her spell slots, so to speak. That said, I have one hell of a way to finish this, quote-unquote, season of Themis the Catgirl stories, not to mention righting a serious wrong. You see, the first showcase I joined was last February, which Ben was on, in which I dumped quite a bit of negativity on everyone. This was followed by the same time he was on in July, when I talked about a panic attack I had. No more! As an empathetic person, I cannot allow this pattern of BM to continue. To make up for my transgressions and to give an offering, it's not, please. Yeah, we handle emotions big and small, negative and positive. We process it all into good vibes, hopefully. To make up for my transgressions is to give an offering worthy of the mighty kaiju of Frametrap Island. I've gorged on Maximilian Dude videos, read up on my fighting game lingo, and binged several shonen anime to make possibly the best short story I've written so far. We'll be the judge of that. This story is about martial arts badass girls fighting games and was specifically designed to be as weeby as possible. Our clip set 8 years before Book 1 is about a 15-year-old Samantha Garrett having a kickboxing sparring match with her eternal rival Ashley Rothschild. How will our heroine fare? Well, love and respect, RF Switch. P.S. For the full story, Ben, check Twitter later. By the time Jones finishes reading this sentence, I will have tagged you in the link for it. I really hope you enjoy it. Also, I apologize if this clip sounds a little janky. I had a lot of issues putting it together. And now, a world premiere excerpt from Grudge Match, written and performed by RF Switch.
I'm gonna wipe that stupid smug grin off your face, Sam, Ashley growled, almost through her teeth. Sam said nothing, merely raising her eyebrow and moving her arms to her sides. Then, she gave a quick nod to Liz to signal she was ready. Liz rolled her eyes and sighed again, thinking about how her father needed migraine medication when dealing with Sam and her friends, more so when Ashley got involved. The instructor lifted her hand, then lowered it sharply and said, "Begin." The second the word escaped her lips, Ashley charged at Sam, running and twisting into a spin kick. Sam took a single step to the right, then grabbed Ashley by her ankle. The blonde girl was caught off guard and didn't notice that Sam's leg had already moved through her legs and kicked her hard in the abdomen. As Ashley reeled in pain, Sam twisted herself around the girl's leg, raising her left arm up for a haymaker. The teenager could not do anything to stop it. Sam swung her fist directly into her solar plexus, knocking her to the ground. Sam stared down at her. Ashley was wheezing as the air left her lungs in shock. The girl was utterly stunned. Racked in pain from the 2 strikes, her eyes rolling around in her head, trying desperately to regain focus. When she finally got her bearings, she stared up at Sam, who had moved right back to where she was, her arms folded again. As the blonde teen started to rise to her feet, she could clearly see Sam's grin had become considerably smugger than it was previously. "When you're done wiping the smile off my face," Sam chuckled, "sweep yourself up and throw yourself in a bin, you walking pile of garbage." For the complete story and the rest of the short
I like the word
stories,
smugger.
as well as
Yeah.
character art,
It's a good
go to
character name.
ko-fi.com/rfswitchart. Again, that's ko-fi.com/rfswitchart. Well, I guess that's a wrap on season 1 of Themis the Catgirl short stories. I'm gonna go rest and relax a little, get my energy back.
Yeah,
I'll
it's a
see
new
you in
year.
a few months for season 2. Oh, and, by the way, Themis the Catgirl, Book 1, A Cat Named Justice. Coming soon.
Yeah. Fun.
Really, like I feel like writing out action scenes is very difficult.
Yeah.
To do well, and I appreciate the level of detail there.
I did a pilot in the last year that had a bunch of action in it, and Amanda told me something, and I'm like, oh, I never thought of that. And she turned the page and was like, okay, I got a note for you. She's like, I'm sure the scene is great, but if you have a fighting scene in like a movie or a TV show, if you're writing, she's like, at least have them just say like, come here, something. Because if anyone is reading a script and they turn the page and there's no dialogue, it's like, oh crap. It's like, you get tired. Like you can't help it. You're just immediately like, ugh. So it's always good to have like that, the sparring conversations. It helps a lot. Even if like, doesn't matter if they actually say it in the actual film, but it's just like, I wonder what the Matrix script was like. Like, how was that described? Like, how was the, like, show me like that scene. Like, I wonder, like, how was that written? I'm going to jump ahead to, in the music category, ahead of Adam Henschel and Michelle Jackson to get to Jesse Blue, because we are on the screen where we can listen to Jesse Blue, because I just got the audio file. Hello, Brandon, Ben, and chat. Greetings from the Midwest. We just got a foot of snow dumped on us, literally, so be glad you don't have that to deal with. I miss snow, though.
I know that very well as someone from the Midwest.
Sophie's only been in snow like twice, and both times she was like, what? So like, I would got to get Sophie back in that snow.
Yeah, dogs in the snow are the best.
I actually had to go into the office end of the month in accounting, but I was able to work on something at home while I was waiting for the weather to clear up. I spent last week enjoying your GOTY deliberations and was so glad you all settled rather quickly on a game that I didn't even care what it was. There was only one game that consumed my time, over 1,100 hours of it, but I'm not here to talk about Animal Crossing New Horizons. I'm here to talk about my soundtrack of the year. Last year, when everyone else was working from home and on lockdowns, I was still commuting. Between that, the fear of catching and passing along COVID, and the reduced hours and extra work, the stress was weighing heavily on me. One day, Ben decided to stream Persona 5 Royal. Between the chatter and the music, I was lulled into a calm I hadn't felt in months. The upbeat, bouncy rhythms, the angelic vocals, and the hardcore thrashing, the soundtrack has music for every mood. I put the Persona 5 OST 3 CD set into my Amazon cart and never looked back. I don't even remember what I paid for it, but it was worth every penny. Whether it's chill songs like Alley Cat or Have a Short Rest, metal jams like Keeper of Lust or Blood of Villains, or jazzy tunes like Last Surprise or Butterfly Kiss, I need to be cheered up, revved up, or calmed down. I just pop in a CD or pull out my phones and earbuds. Thank you, Ben, for streaming, and I look forward to what the next year brings. I hope you will enjoy this sampling of some songs I pull up when a particular mood strikes me. The vocal stylings are provided by yours truly. Side note, I got a dynamic mic this time, which, unlike my VO mic, didn't clip the high notes as much when I recorded the piece for Ian a couple months back. Take care, everyone. Vaccines are right around the corner. Love and respect, Jesse Blue. Song list in order to be read after. Okay, so Ben can be surprised with the songs. Okay.
Yeah, I saw Jesse, how well Jesse responded to the Persona 5 soundtrack, and it made me very happy. So that's great.
Here we go.
When like the first like 3 notes of a song give you feels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where have you been? Been searching all along. Came chasing twilight on and on. Without a clue, without a sign, without grasping it. The real question to be asked: where have I been? I'm a shapeshifter. Tadpole's masquerade, hiding both face and mind, all free for you to draw. I'm a shapeshifter. What else should I be? Please don't take off my mask, revealing dark.
Really good.
Yep, that was Wake Up, Blood of Villain, Crossroads, Addendum to Interrogation Room, Hymn of the Soul, and Beneath the Mask. Thank you, Jesse. All right, time to slide our way over to the other side of the screen so we can make some room for some music tracks. Adam Henschel on multiple instruments. Hey, Ben and Brandon, originally I'd planned to finish this video around Age of Calamity's release, but as you know, shit happens. Nevertheless, here a few months later with a little rendition of Breath of the Wild's main theme. As for the arrangement, inspiration was taken from both the original recording as well as the remix found in Smash Ultimate, particularly the key change heard towards the end. Anyway, thanks for listening. Have a great February. Adam.
This is my jam.
Man, that's so awesome.
The finger picking that he's doing here. His playing is so incredibly clean.
No, it's clean
Like-
is a really good way to put it, yeah.
He's not like hitting the edges of the frets at all or anything. Like, it's amazing.
Yeah, the finish. Hench. Although I'm a little distressed, I gotta be honest. I just want to be honest here. I don't know where the drawing of Cloud went in the background. It used to have Cloud on top of that TV. Maybe the camera angle changed or something. I don't know. I'm confused. I'm flustered. I don't know what to think anymore. There's like records up there now, which I didn't recognize. I don't know what's going on. That was so good. I wanted to like stroll up to a bar and just be like, martini, please. Just like, oh. Hey, how you doing? Well, it sounded like a club I would like to spend some time in.
I hope you're doing music for a living.
You think, it's just a hobby for him. He's just kind of, he just opened up. What is that? Is that that's not a cello, right? That's an upright bass.
No, the upright bass.
Somebody was saying? Yeah. You just got that for Christmas one year. Like,
Yeah.
Okay. I was wondering what was in this box.
I'll mess around with it.
Yeah, sure. I'll give it a shot. Michelle Jackson. Hey, Jones and Ben. It was a good month for making music, I think. So I'm sharing 2 of the songs I worked on. P.S. Jones, please tell Ben that Ignatz is a good Fire Emblem character. Ben, Ignatz is a good Fire Emblem character.
I disagree.
Oh!
Respectfully.
All right. Okay. All right.
It's a running joke.
Okay, good. Take it away. What's going on? Oh, sorry. I'm taking this back. Why can I not see you? What on earth is blocking you up top? Did I not get rid of Adam yet? Sorry. Get out of here, Adam. It's Adam's fault. All right.
Yeah, this is a jam. What I love about this is it sounds like 32-bit era or 16-bit era JRPG, which is great. That's exactly the kind of vibe.
Michelle's like a looping superstar. Michelle writes stuff that I'm just like, I could listen to this for 30 minutes straight. No problem.
And when you're making a game,
Oh my.
yeah, that little guitar flair there. This is really fucking good.
She's insanely prolific too. Like she just, even the game updates. She's just like, here's some 6 songs I wrote in the background. Like there's 6 new songs. What's happening right now?
I say this, of course, in the best possible way. This is I'm getting like some Phantasy Star vibes from this. Yeah, that was great. Very impressive.
3 minutes ain't enough, man. I could groove on that for a long, long time. But that's like, it's so great because it so clearly identifies a specific area, but at the same time, that's like item management. That's you like looking at a skill tree, like.
I can even see it being like character creation music for sure.
Yeah.
Like it's hard because like with certain things like I don't know I literally know nothing about art, but I feel like I have a deeper appreciation of music, and so I always love hearing this stuff.
From Kieran Little, who shares so many of my same gaming passions. Every time Kieran's just like, how about this music from this franchise? It's like, please play that right now. Hi, Brandon, Ben, and allies. For my submission this month, I'll admit it's not tailored to any one ally. I just really like Legacy of Kain. Specifically, Blood Omen, the first game in the series, which feels like the underappreciated entry in an underappreciated series. The dark gothic fantasy setting, colliding with intrigue, incredible voice acting, near Shakespearean dialogue, and of course, incredibly fitting music. I was always that close to doing a Legacy of Kain retrospective.
Jones, I was going to say, this is tailored to you specifically.
I just knew nobody would watch it. It's just like, 800 views on that first episode. Brutal. No track in the OST is more fitting for a damned and hellish world than Noop Raptor's theme. As the guardian of Nuzgoth's Pillar of the Mind, Noop Raptor, can't remember. Noop Raptor's psyche is inexorably linked to the world of Nuzgoth, and when his lover is murdered in a nefarious plot, it drives him and in turn the entire world to insanity, sparking off a series of events and lore that spanned a millennia. This is not an easy feat for composer Steve Hennepin to have put into harmony and rhythm, but he did an excellent job. I'm rambling. I'll simply sign off for those in the know with Ve Victus. Do it. Wait, where'd you go? There you Remaster these, please.
Nice shirt, by the way. The music I listen to every time. Great. Really good mixing too. Like everything was coming through very well there.
I love these clips. That's good for the soul. Oh yeah, really, really good stuff.
Music to drink blood to.
Yeah, totally. From Kevin Gillet, hello, Ben and Jones. Can you hear it? Can you hear the menace growing? Can you hear his evil consuming the land? Can you hear him corrupting everything he touches? Can you hear the madness heralding the fury? Love and respect, Kevin Gillet.
That was not what I was expecting.
It's like biblical proportions.
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay. All right.
Oh, that's great. Sometimes our community is too good at things.
Pretty good.
Dragon Force to the showcase, man. Today, Mario became Cole.
The music hall's like turns around.
If I could get guitar solos on every time I'm on the community showcase, that would be great.
Yeah, man. This is a little toned down in terms of the face meltingness. But one last little track from Ben Fitter. Hey, Ben and Jones. Been pretty busy recently. Haven't had much time to play new games or find new music. So I decided to go with the David Wise piece. Never fails. It's been on my list of songs to record for a while. All of Wise's soundtracks are legendary, but none get stuck in my head quite like the catchy tunes from this game. Hope you enjoy. Love and respect, Ben F.
Ready!
Nice.
The four pianos!
Yeah. Man, remember Rare? Great stuff.
good. I
Bravo,
love
everyone.
the gameplay on there too. Just
Yeah.
takes me
An
back.
extra touch. People put a lot of effort into these.
I like the 4 pianos as well. I just love like the piano on the bottom, nothing's happening, then the hand just kind of comes in. Right on the beat. All right, our final category, video. The one thing on this list I know a little bit about, the one category I think I could compete in if I was, although it is not a competition. We got a couple to go through, and that will wrap up today's showcase. From Happy Gaming, hello there, Ben and Jones. I'm back again with my latest review for you to enjoy. This time, it's from Mega Man 11. Mega Man fan, Ben at all? I know we've we've had some distracting themes here. I don't know if we're finally in your wheelhouse with Mega Man. Over the last year or so, I've been going back and playing through every Mega Man game, X included, after I got the Legacy Collection bundles on sale. As a lifelong Mega Man fan, I was very excited going into this entry, and though the game is imperfect, it really gets me excited about where the next entry could go. By the end, I came to the realization that Mega Man shouldn't need to change what it fundamentally is in order to do what it already does best. As you may remember, I shared some passages from reviews I wrote in the past the last time Ben was on. His enthusiasm for my writing was really encouraging, especially given that his own writing, articulation, and reviews have been some of the biggest inspirations to me for years. Thank you so much, Ben, for giving me the positive feedback to help me get started doing what I've wanted to for so long. The review was a little rushed this month because I really wanted to be able to get the Mega Man 1 out just in time for Ben to be on. Forgive the audio peaking in a couple places. I'm using a new recording setup I still need to tweak. Other than that, as always, I'd be especially appreciative for you and chat's constructive criticism. Brand man, please cut the video off at 3 minutes. Oh, I will. If anyone would like to check out the rest of it or my other work, you can check out my Patreon to see all of those for free, as well as an upcoming podcast I did interviewing fellow patron and friend Mr. James Davey. Again, an excellent shout out. Both of them did it. Thanks always, and love and respect, Brian from Happy Gaming.
Shout out, Brian.
Shout out.
Can you be nostalgic for a game that like just came out not that long ago?
In the history of the biggest and most successful video game juggernauts, few have had such highs and lows as the Blue Bomber Mega Man. At the franchise's best,
You have a great,
these games can be
VO
explosive, bombastic, and challenging, requiring knuckle-biting precision and strategy in a way that countless other franchises can only emulate. At its worst, though, Mega Man can be tiring, frustrating, and repetitive, becoming an iterative version of itself that can feel more like junk food than
Good
something
clip
more
to
filling
use
and
for that
substantial.
statement.
With the latest game in the original series spanning all the way back to 1987, it feels fitting that Mega Man 11 brings the baggage of both sides with it. There are flashes of genius here, bringing some of the best innovations to the franchise in years. But it's also unable to let go of some poor design decisions that could still use some work, or should have been abandoned ages ago. Mega Man 11 is
Also
by
good
no means a bad game.
choice there.
However, rather than being the lightning in a bottle revolution the character deserves, it feels more like a hopeful but safe spark that could get the old boy back on his feet. Starting in a way that is a surprise to no one, the notorious Dr. Wily is once again causing mischief. Calling back to his days as a partner to Dr. Light, he recalls an invention, the double gear system, that had been shot down because of its unstable nature. Upon digging up this tech, he corrupts 8 of Light's robot masters in an attempt to take revenge. This serves as the jumping off point to take down the bad robots as Mega Man. While the plot feels uninspired, it works at getting things started. However, the presentation suffers with voice acting that feels a little phoned in and lacks charm with still frame storyboards and standstill characters. Mega Man games have never been known for their eloquence in crafting a rich story. However, this particular game lacks the magic of the anime cutscenes from past games like 8, as well as the charm the over-the-top voice acting in that particular entry provided. There is a story here, but it feels more like a means to an end, rather than a way to provide any emotional attachment.
Just 7 to go.
Oh, brother, there's no end to him. Doc, how about giving your favorite assistant a break?
I don't need a break, Otto.
What most are really here for is what Mega Man does best, the rock-paper-scissors strategy of figuring out which boss to fight, and battling through their stage to acquire their power to use on someone else. This works just as well as it always has, and while some of the weaknesses still just don't make a lot of sense, the stages and bosses definitely stand out compared to past games. Part of this is because of the new visuals and art design, which at their best can look like concept art come to life. Bosses move in extremely fluid and expressive ways, and backgrounds can be full of life and color.
Good stuff. Check the rest out.
Cool.
Gaming's Patreon.
Thank you. That was delightful to watch.
Yeah. Daryl Rodriguez, I've been saving this video for 6 months, waiting for Ben to come on the show again. The man would not stop talking about DMC5, so I tried it out. Then, this happened.
Best showcase of my life. In 10 minutes. Smart call.
What about now? It's time to rock with the biggity bump bumper. What about now? It's time to rock with the biggity bump bumper. Bump to the boom to the boom to the boom.
I wasn't. Okay.
Oh,
I wasn't
curveball?
expecting that.
Didn't, no?
Man, if he manages to do this without getting hit, that's pretty fucking impressive. It's definitely a battle of attrition here. Do you believe there are people that don't like this game? Yeah, he's got the pattern unlocked for sure. Not using the arms, that's interesting. Doesn't mean that. Oh, really fun at it.
Yeah, I'll probably get in trouble for this, but it's too good.
Flawless victory.
That's awesome. Yeah, you're way better at DMC5 than I am. Nice.
Nice. Thank you, Daryl. From the Void. Hello, Ben and Jones. Longtime fan of you guys since the GT days. Really appreciate your work. I'm starting my channel on YouTube soon, which will focus on lesser-known games that deserve more recognition. I created an intro to the videos and would really appreciate your comments and criticism. The music in the video is my own creation, so no copyright issues. By the way, I think this song is well suited to Ben's tastes, as I think he really enjoys some hard rock. And it finally would be nice to deliver some hard rock to you in the showcase, Ben. Hope you too, as well as the community, enjoys this intro and in the near future can appreciate my channel on YouTube. Thanks for this space to share our stuff. Love and respect from the Void, aka Arthur Henrique Chinaglia. Is a name
Dude,
that I believe
next
I've said
time-
in every podcast ever.
Next time I show up on the showcase, like people are going to be putting in like death metal, black metal.
Yeah,
It's going to be great.
That's just all we're doing.
Yeah.
And it's a short one. This was my favorite thing about this is it's nice and quick. You explain your channel and you get right to the ass kicking.
Hello, welcome to the channel that aims to bring some light into games left in the dark. This is From the Void.
People have been very thoughtful about the push for using for their work. I appreciate that. I think That is a super fun intro. The audio sounded, and maybe it's just me on my end, but it sounded like it was peaking maybe a little bit.
It's a little distant too, it's a little echoey. I think that might have just been the room that you recorded that in.
Yeah, it could be.
But yeah, there could be like a declip filter that you could put on that. Also, because you're showing a lot of footage from a lot of different games, don't be afraid to pull. If something's like got bars all over it, like just zoom in on that sucker, have that sucker fill the screen, because your eye kind of does when stuff like gets borders and weird stuff like that, which is like sometimes there's nothing you can do about it. You go back to like an old PS1 game and like a lot of those have weird borders in weird places. You could also hold on that end screen for longer. Have that name come up, and feel free to hold, because if I'm just watching that, it's like, all right, I got the vibe, and I can keep watching the video.
But
if I want to.
You showing like Croto's mom opening the window and you're saying light, and the Hollow Knight talking about when you were talking about void, like your head's definitely in the right space there. Always good.
From Joseph Crusoe, you know how in modern Rockstar games, if the player character is having a conversation while traveling during a mission, but then they audibly react to something that happens, like, say, a car crash, and then they say something like, as I was saying, and then restart the last sentence of dialogue before they got cut off? I do. I'm familiar with this. Well, something like that happened to me during Red Dead Redemption 2, and I laughed about it for way too long. Just a heads up that this 20-second clip takes place during the epilogue, so if you don't want any spoilers whatsoever, please watch. Please don't watch, sorry. So just a 20-second clip, so yeah, go amuse yourself if you want to not know what happens in that epilogue.
Hey! So, anyhow, hey!
Anyway. Very good. I do like the metal, but if we could get some more Red Dead clips in there, that would be great too. Craftium. Hey, Ben and Jones. I last wrote for the December community showcase, showing off my video review of Nayuta no Kiseki. Since then, I've had my head to the grindstone working on a few different styles of videos, testing the waters to see what I like doing, whilst also getting a better understanding of the tools I'm working with. It's been nice to see a steady improvement with my skills and my general confidence since working on these things. I've gone from feeling emotionally drained after a recording session to waking up in the morning, eager to force my mediocre opinions on the world, knowing I finished the script the day before.
Don't do that to yourself. Your opinions are beautiful.
The video this time was an extra video on top of the one video a month I promised myself, as the idea was sort of a flash in the pan. I'm a huge fan of both Bravely Default and Bravely Second on the 3DS, but every time I saw trailers or played the demos for Bravely Default 2 over the last year, I always felt like something was wrong, particularly with the game's art style, but in other ways too.
However, don't disagree.
Right, I'm nervous.
Yeah.
However, I was never sure why, and looking at opinions online didn't really give me a definitive answer to why either, so I broke out my copies of the games and flipped through my art books to get to the root of my feelings myself, and decided to make a video to share what I thought. It's honestly a really weird feeling how I've been able to take stuff like this and put it online and have so many people interact with it, as I've always seen sharing thoughts online like screaming into a void. Lots of voids. And between stuff like that and stuff like emailing publishers and getting review codes, it's starting to feel like I'm not just playing pretend, and I'm actually doing this stuff for real. Sorry if that last bit was a bit weird, but regardless, I hope you enjoy the video. You're doing it.
No, not at all. Not at all.
You were doing it. Take it away.
I want to talk about Bravely Default 2, but more importantly, I really want to talk about its art style, as well as a few other things that worry me about the game as well. However, as of right now, I can't really comment on stuff such as the game's story, characters and gameplay, etc. As of this recording, the game is currently not out yet. Which is why I want to talk about the game's general presentation, as it's something I can critique, and I have some feelings on the matter. Before we begin, I just want to say that I loved the first two Bravely games. I loved everything from the game's art style, to the characters, to the job system. In fact, I loved it so much when I first got Default, I quickly racked up about 35 hours of play in just 5 days. So of course, when the oddly named Bravely Default 2 was announced, I was absolutely overjoyed. From just the first few notes of the new theme at the beginning of the announcement trailer, I could already tell what it was. Then there was this lovely piece of art in the art team's signature style, a bunch of overviews of various pre-rendered towns in a very similar aesthetic to the first two games, and then the trailer capped off by showing the 4 party members' 3D models standing by a cliffside. It was the next day upon rewatching the trailer, however, was when I started to get twangs of worry. There was just something about these characters that seemed off. At first I thought it was just Elvis in the back there clashing with the look of the other three, but it wasn't just him that bothered me, it was all of them. And it wasn't just me who felt this way. Over the last year, I began to see several people online saying how they felt the same about the game just looking kind of off. But it was also something I couldn't really find a joint consensus on why people felt like this. There were various takes such as, oh, the chibi art style just doesn't upscale well to HD, or, oh, maybe they just don't have that big a budget, to the much more defensive, no, it looks fine, you just want generic realistic graphics. And so everything I found wasn't really useful to me. Now, as I've mentioned, I absolutely love the look of the first two games, and if we ever got a remake of Final Fantasy V, I think it would be a perfect fit for that game's campy, light-hearted feel, especially since the Bravely games are basically a spiritual successor to FF5's job system. So I desperately wanted to know what exactly I felt was wrong with the look of Bravely Default 2. I started by seeing how the 3DS games would look at 1080p by running them in an emulator, and surprise surprise, they look great. The models are fairly low poly for HD resolutions, as are some of the textures, but the visual style is still on point and would look absolutely amazing if just cleaned up a little bit. After playing the final demo and thinking about it for a while, I realised that there were two major points where I think Bravely Default 2's visual problems stem from, and that's the proportion of the characters and the game's use of Unreal Engine 4's effects and features. I'll start with the proportions because it's personally the main reason for me. The reason
That's it. That's 3-minute cap, but that is a 12-minute video delving deep into all of that stuff.
I wanted to know more.
I know. I definitely want to see all of that stuff, and you can go. Again, I do this every month, but once this showcase is over, I'm going to make that post public. You can go to patreon.com/easyallies and see the rest of that. That was just I dropped the volume down. It was a softer cut than I could have potentially done.
No, I get it. Not your fault, Jess.
Jesse said it was a hard cut. Parasite Paladin. Hello, guys. Your friendly neighborhood Parasite Paladin here. Here again to show you another video from the mobile game Battle Cats. You might see some familiar faces. The battle was easy, so I used an extra 30 seconds to show off the normal type cats, along with various upgrades you can use to level up.
What?
How come I don't have that video? Sorry. Video is not in here somehow. Whoa. Ay. Didn't download that one. Hold on a second. Here, I'll do that one last. Let's go to Alex Stories. Hey, Allies, I quickly spliced together this video from an interview series called War Stories on the Ars Technica channel, which itself is an edited video from a 1 hour and 10-minute interview. I do recommend watching the original video if interested, as there's plenty more for where this came from. Enjoy. This is definitely pertinent to our interests. We talked about this franchise in the showcase.
Hi, I'm Glenn Schofield, creator and director of Dead Space. I set out to make the scariest game of all time. Along the way, I had to break some rules, make some new ones. One of the things I would say to the team is we're going to make Resident Evil in space. And you got it right away. Resident Evil 4 is one of my top 5 games of all time. And I just like the mood. The mood was oppressive sometimes. It was dreadful, but it was... I don't know, I just got caught up in it. I was always worried about what was around the corner, but I always wanted to see what was around the corner, too. I wanted to be in the world. And everything is going to run through the filter of innovation, meaning everything that we do in the game should be innovated on, whether it's the HUD or the things that we called out or not. Even just his look is something you've never seen before.
Yeah.
Right from the start, we said sound design and the music and the audio are key. There are no cutscenes in the game. So we're trying to tell the story through video logs, but also what Isaac does. Having an overarching desire to make something great and to have quality be your number one thing is the biggest lesson. You may say, oh, well, you should always be that way. And it's like, yes, but there are times when you have budget cuts or you have changes, you don't have the right people, and you have to let down your guard a little bit. We shipped the game 2 weeks early, because we had gotten all our bugs. We had gotten all the way down to C bugs. The game came out, and then we won, I'll never forget, the biggest one was sitting at the DICE Awards, which is the big one for us. And when they called our name, I'll never forget this, the feeling of validation kind of just said, it's okay to go make another one now. A real highlight of my career has been, making Dead Space and then what it's brought since I've been playing more of the types of games that I'm making right now. That doesn't mean I haven't been writing. I still write horror stuff, and I've got quite a few stories, and I enjoyed making Dead Space so much that, you know, hopefully someday I'll make one of those games again.
And then we
Our
got
goal is
fucked
to
by
make the
EA.
single most scariest game, and we're so excited to be able to show it here tonight.
We gotta wait a while, but
Yeah.
I'm pumped. I got high expectations for that.
I will watch this with great interest.
Nice. Really fun to get a recap on that, especially like going back to interviews that are relative to our interests. Hold on just a second. There we go. Oh, I got Parasite Paladin. Sorry about that. Quiet, you. Battle Cat's Time, a game I have played, but then put down eventually. But take it away, Parasite Paladin.
They're anime?
Yeah.
You want to play Battle Cat?
Fire the weapon!
Is that Hakame Miku? What the hell?
Just absolutely crushing this level. There we go. That's the same weapon. So satisfying!
Coal times 2.
Got some coal. Show me your cats. Watch your cats.
Macho leg cat.
Nice, maxed out. Nice, nice. Just showing off at this point. Nice. Very, very nice.
Cute.
Chris Park, here's some more Fates has been requested it if you didn't get enough mobile games.
No, this was very
Here we
fun
go.
last time.
真のサンタは目が光る
Karna parentheses
サンタ
Santa.
クロースのっていい組み立て。そうしよう。
You know, the Santa we all want.
フィニッシュコンビネーション行くぞ。この連撃をもってすればノックアウトは必要。スーリアの力よ、我が拳に宿れ。ウィーニングアルカプトラ。見切れるか。拳の前だ。ゴングを鳴らせ。
I love how we're still on one attack.
いざ出陣 VR 新影流奥義
Okay, that's pretty cool.
人よ願え、お前たちに不可能はない。なぜならば、俺がいる。アルク・ドゥ・トリオンフ・ドゥ・レトワール。
Oh, I wish history was this.
お願いネスラムタイヤ冥界の守りを知りなさい。これが私のフルティガル・イルカルだ。姉上姉上
That was the attack?
閻魔が通る。スズメの沙汰も味次第。
Okay.
さしすせそからやり直せ。サラソウジュの花の色。すなわち。
I gotta go in order, but we really should end with Fate every time.
諸行無常。
Man, I'm supposed to take grand order, but this is inspiring. Like I gotta get this.
鍛造技法臨界。
Look at these characters.
これが俺のつぶかい村正だ。
成功の剣よ。
I love how it said no
赤とか
effect
白と
rolled
か
like
黒とか
thousands
消し
of
去るべ
damage.
し。みんなには内緒だよ。X カリバー。
Mess that
疑
book
似
up.
人格停止。第2段階限定解除開始。
戦争、抜病、ロンゴー、ミニアド。
Oh, you know,
我らの
Romulus.
腕は全てに届き、全てを裂き、全てを開く。いずれ空の彼方にさえも、ペルアステラードアストラ。
That scream.
Oh man, just so good.
That was good.
So good. Eric Jackson, greetings from Seattle, Brandon and Ben. Things have been a little crazy the last few months. COVID plus mental health strain plus moving into my new apartment all make for a big cocktail of stress. Be that as it may, I'm still enjoying getting into Dungeon Master for my group of friends, and for nearly a year, I've been at the loom of creativity, weaving a hopefully compelling story for my friends to explore. With this month's submission is an update to an earlier submission I made months ago about where my players had gotten to, following in the wake of the launchpad of their story. Now see which routes the heroes of Saga take to explore the long-forgotten secrets of the floating continent of Elantris. Enjoy, with all the love and respect, Eric Jackson, aka Jax on Deck, in the Twitch chat. You are there.
Returning to the continuing adventures of the heroes of Saga. Having now braved the dangers of the Arcanum of Light, our heroes retreated from the forgotten city of Carcosa.
Is this your actual
and ventured
voice?
back to the town of Archdale.
This is amazing.
Whereupon they had learned that the naiad known as Aya was nowhere to be found. And it was suspected that her waters were poisoned in some manner, as the very vitality was being leached from the land. From here, the heroes learned of a mysterious substance known as the Amber Heart, believed to be a secretion of the Great Cedar, the world tree of massive size that sits within the heart of the great forest of Elantris. There, our heroes would venture forth, endeavoring to heal the sickness that overtook the land in the wake of the necromancer's flight. Several days' journey down the Elmfair River found our heroes upon the banks of the small forest community of Briar Glen, where the party were beset upon by the famed sentinels of the forest, who promptly took them into custody for trespassing on their lands. Conversations were had, and a deal was brokered between the party and the Grand Matriarch of the Glen, Tyriel Valthana. Venture into the heart of the Blight. Burn away that spreading corruption, and you shall gain that which you seek, the amber heart of the Great Cedar. And so it was that the party spent many days trekking ever closer towards that mire most foul, going so far as to charter a boat with a captain crazy enough to sail them close to the source of the sickness. When the borders of the scourge proved too dangerous to pass by foot, the party took to the skies, riding on the back of a roc, a colossal bird of staggering size, summoned from the usage of a magical item. Days of travel fell to hours, and even through windswept eyes and piercing rain, they luckily spotted what they believed to be the heart of this blight, a bramble tower that stretched hundreds of feet into the evening sky, like a sickening thorn of ages past, seeking to bleed the very landscape of life. Welcome to Nightfang Spire.
Elantris. Pardon me. I said Elantris.
As somebody who has done D&D voices, it's hard to do. You're very good at it.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, also like forgetting. You get into the next session and a character comes back and you're like,
oh yeah, yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Like literally the Game of Thrones audiobooks, like people just become French. You're like, what?
Yeah.
That's not at all what the guy sounded like last book. It's the same director. It's the same voice guy doing it. Like, come on.
Yeah, forgetting what characters sounded like definitely happened to me multiple times live on the internet.
Yep. Documented for all to see for all time. And finally, our final submission. No credits, got submissions from everybody. Sometimes people just say hold or something like that, and then we don't get submissions. I am all filled up unless I have done that wrong. And also John Cross 94. Thank you for that sub. Last from BRVR. Hi, Brandon and Ben. I started making a time capsule of sorts of things in video games and anime I enjoyed every 6 months starting last January. So here's part 2. Also, huge thanks to Ben for introducing me to the Yakuza series. I played Zero for the first time last year, and it has a very special place in my heart now. Yakuza! Love and respect, JD, a.k.a. Mellow Fellow.
They call me Mellow. Oh, man, I still haven't played this yet. I have it downloaded. Oh, damn. That sucks. Good old Popo. Oh, yeah, that was great. Very good transition. Shout out, Tony Hawk. The twofer.
Yeah, Atlas.
Oh, for it.
Yeah, I think so. Maybe.
Yes. She's great.
It happens. It happens. Yeah, such a really, really, really fun edit. I love all the Among Us characters jumping around. That was really great.
You keep on playing Dragon Quest at the end.
And you managed to sneak in a little anime in there. I'm proud of you.
Yeah, snuck it in very well.
That is the Easy Allies Community Showcase for the month of January. And we'll do it right now live while we are here. Again, if you want to check out any of the stuff, you can go to patreon.com/easyallies. This post will be public in a couple of seconds. Then you can go check out all of these posts, but you can also go and support all of the people at these Patreons for themselves, the Twitch channels, YouTube channels. Mason Victoria has a great SoundCloud that he posts all his stuff in, and so you can go check out all of Mason's work. And maybe just, let people know, maybe message them individually and let them know that you appreciated the stuff that they did, because it is always just so gosh darn impressive, all the crazy stuff that we get. Not only just the quality of the things, but just the breadth, and along with all of the conversations. These are fun. I never get sick of talking to Ben, but it's always nice checking in specifically on these things. Ben will not be back for a couple months in the showcase, but I almost always forget to do this, but we've had so many meetings lately that it did come up. Daniel Bloodworth will be the next person. He'll be sitting down with me at the beginning of March to talk about all of the stuff that is have been happening in February, all of the art that all of you are going to be putting together. Looking forward to that. So if you want to begin your submissions now, you can prepare them for Daniel Bloodworth, who will be the next person on the showcase. Thanks to everybody that support us via Patreon. Thanks to everyone that has submitted stuff to the showcase. Thank you for any subs that we missed during the streams. Thank you to our mods for managing a 3+ hour stream. But of course, thank you to Mr. Ben Moore, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you. I'm wrangling my cat right now, but this
is that East or West? What do we got?
This is East right now. This was a ton of fun. I am truly blown away by everybody. Like, some of that stuff was professional grade level. So
this was a very Ben friendly showcase.
It was.
There was a lot of good stuff in there.
Exceptionally Ben friendly. Yeah.
Yep. And I have a blast doing it. And again, this post will go up. If you were just like, hey, the showcase is fun, I want to be a part of this. This is our $10 and above tier. You don't just have to stop at $10, but for just $10, you can be involved in the showcase. And I will put the post up the last week of the month, so that we can get everybody in that is a patron for February to be involved in the March community showcase. And then, you just want to submit a comment. If you want, what a lot of people do is they'll just submit a comment where they're like, I'm going to submit something. This is just, my post for now. If you want to get in there before other people. And then again, it's comments, screenshots, voiceover. We did do voiceover for a while, and then like Jesse and RF came in and they were like, haha, new genre. So if you want to invent your own genre, potentially, we are open to that. But you can see all of the guidelines in that post for how long things should be, the word count and whatnot, and just the general rules that we abide by. But you can see everyone's got their own ideas for what we can do in the showcase, and we enjoy it so much. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. I hope you have a wonderful month of February, and we'll see you on the next showcase. Thanks, Ben. Bye, everybody.
Bye.